Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Dimensional Chosen. Only I know Saitama is the strongest. Chapter 61. Jingle Bell. The alarm clock rang. 1 hour is up. All the teachers immediately cheered up and walked out of the lounge at the same time and came to the exit of the forbidden area. Soon, the first student came out. At the exit behind him, a yellow light suddenly lit up. Light. Yellow task evaluation. It is a low-level evaluation. It is only one level higher than the lowest grade, which is considered relatively poor. Teacher. The student walked up to his teacher and greeted him respectfully. But his teacher didn't have a good expression. What's wrong with you? Why is it a yellow review? In the forbidden area number 2, you finally got a green rating. Hearing the teacher's reprimand, the student smiled bitterly. Teacher, you will know after reading this. The teacher didn't know why, so he waved his hand and said, go and have a rest first. The students walked helplessly to the rest area. Soon, the second student comes out. His mission evaluation is also yellow. Immediately afterwards, a third student appears. This time he is a student of Martial Arts Academy. However, his mission evaluation is also yellow. Wong Leang was stunned. Because he recognized this student, he matched the talent of an A-level hero and had great potential. The previous mission evaluation he received in the number 2 Forbidden Land was a purple high-level evaluation. Unexpectedly, the performance was so poor this time. Sun Chunggong, what's going on? With your ability, you shouldn't perform so poorly. Wong Leang couldn't help but ask. The student named Sun Chunggong sighed and said, Teacher, when Lu Feng and the others come out, you will know the reason. Then, the fourth student came out, and received a yellow evaluation. The fifth student came out, and received a yellow evaluation. The sixth student came out, and still received a yellow evaluation. Whether it is the proud son of the Martial God Academy or an ordinary person from the Martial Saint Academy. As long as it comes out, it will all be rated yellow. Teachers are not fools. By this time, I must have noticed something was wrong. At this time, another female student from Wushan Academy came out, and she still received yellow comments. Wong Leang did not let her go easily, and asked, Sao Feng, what happened in the forbidden area? Why are you all making yellow comments? The girl named Sao Feng curled her lips, with a look of dissatisfaction on her face. It's not like Zhao Fusheng and those guys kidnapped the zombies right from the start, leaving those of us who took on simple missions with no chance to perform. As soon as these words came out, several teachers finally understood what was going on. They had strange faces and wanted to say something, but they didn't know what to say. Come to think of it, this kind of situation would be beneficial to those schools with poor performance. Yes, because it is difficult for poor students to get high task evaluations, it is already very good to get all yellow evaluations. However, for a school like Wushan College, that is very bad. Wong Leang's face suddenly changed, frowned and asked, didn't they put a few zombies back? Wong Leang knew about the plans of Zhao Fusheng and others. At that time, he also specifically told Lu Feng to release some zombies back to Renjia town so that other students could also get high evaluations. Now it seems that Zhao Fusheng and others, it seems like people didn't take his words to heart. No, not a single zombie. Even if we want to show off, we have no chance. Sao Feng said with an aggrieved look. Hearing this, Wong Leang's eyes flashed with anger. If most of the students at Wushan Academy only received yellow task evaluations this time, then as the leading teacher, he would go back in the end, he will definitely be punished or even punished. However, Wong Leang concealed it very well and said to Sao Feng calmly, go and rest first. Next, students kept coming out. Regardless of whether they are poor students or excellent students, without any surprise, they are all rated as yellow tasks. Everyone is equal. In addition, teachers also discovered a benefit. For students in all schools, the loss rate is almost zero. Most schools have returned safely to full capacity. After all, there is no need to face zombies, and the safety is naturally greatly improved, the only dissatisfaction. I'm afraid only Wong Leang from Wushan Academy. Martial God College is the best university in the country, how can it be on par with a rubbish school? This time, even if Zhao Fusheng and others all received red evaluations, I am afraid that when Wong Leang goes back, the school leaders will blame him. Thinking of this, Wong Leang's face became a little gloomy. unless Zhao Fusheng and others were able to create a miracle and all received the highest task evaluation. That is the golden evaluation. Just like the student from Martial Saint Academy before. I think of Martial Saint Academy. Wong Leang felt much better. He has confidence in Lu Feng and others, and they will definitely be able to complete the tasks he assigned. It is said that the senior officials of Wusheng Academy regarded those two students as treasures. By then, the two best performing students will not be able to come back. Yan Tai will most likely lose his job after he returns, right? Over time, most students have returned. Only the students from Wusheng Academy and Wushan Academy were left, and they had not yet arrived. Wusheng Academy is short of 2. Martial Arts Academy is missing 6. Seeing that the 1-hour return time was about to end, Yan Tai couldn't help but become a little nervous. There was a vague premonition in his heart. Wong Leang, on the other side, looked calm. Wonderful, always save it for the last. Finally, at the exit of the forbidden area, a new figure appeared. That is a girl with beautiful appearance and charming temperament. Seeing the girl appear, Yan Tai's eyes suddenly lit up and he smiled. Because that is his student, Suicho. More importantly, the entrance to the forbidden area behind Suicho suddenly lit up with a dazzling golden light. All the teachers were shocked. All the students were also shocked. It's only been a month. The highest task evaluation appears again. Suicho, Yan Tai shouted in surprise and immediately went over to greet him. Teacher, seeing Yan Tai, Suicho also looked very happy, smiled slightly and said, "It's great to see you." Okay. Good boy. Yan Tai looked a little excited. Teacher is proud of you. Behind Yan Tai, Wong Leang's eyelids jumped when he saw Suicho appearing. Why, is this female student still alive? Where are Zhao Fusheng and the others? Single quote. At this time, it was Wong Leang's turn to have a bad premonition in his heart. Correct. Yan Tai couldn't help but ask. Suicho, have you seen Fang Yi? Fang Yi was the winner of the highest mission evaluation in the number 2 forbidden area last time. Moreover, he unexpectedly received the talent of fire. He has a bright future. He has been cultivated as a strong seed by the senior officials of Wusheng Academy. Yan Tai himself has also. I don't want anything to go wrong with Fang Yi. Has Fang Yi come out yet? Suicho smiled gently. There was no worry at all on her pretty face. She said with certainty, "That should be behind me." As soon as he finished speaking, a new figure appeared at the exit of the forbidden area. It was Fang Yi. Moreover, the exit of the forbidden area behind Fang Yi also emitted a dazzling golden light. It was very dazzling. Another top mission evaluation. Silence. The entire rest area was silent. All the teachers stared with wide eyes and looked horrified. The same was true for the students. A mere trash Martial Saint Academy, Pheasant University, actually got 2 highest task evaluations in a row. This is simply miracle. When did the rubbish Martial Saint Academy become so powerful? Fang Yi, Yan Tai was overjoyed and patted Fang Yi on the shoulder very excitedly. He wanted to say something, but he didn't know what to say. He could only say excitedly, "Just come back." Compared to Yan Tai's excitement. At this moment, Wong Leang's pupils were dilating, and there was a look of panic on his face that could not be concealed. Fang Yi and Suicho both came back safely. What does this mean? Wong Leang knows very well. What happened? Why are these 2 students alive and getting the highest task evaluation, but what about Zhao Fusheng and the others? Thinking of a certain possibility, Wong Leang's heart instantly sank to the bottom of his heart, and he even began to tremble uncontrollably. His eyes were fixed on the exit of the forbidden area. Expect miracles to happen. Let Zhao Fusheng and the others come back one after another at the last moment. Even if only half of them come back. But the ruthless reality was like a slap in the face, severely waking up Wong Leang. The entrance to the forbidden area number 3 began to slowly close. This shows that no one can come out anymore. Even if the person is still alive, he will be wiped out. In other words, Zhao Fusheng and the others. Certain death. This is impossible. This is impossible. Wong Leang's face was ashen and he looked horrified. It wasn't that he cared about his students. It was that he was afraid that he would be punished. Now, 6 students with great potential died at once, especially 2 of them, or the inheritor of S-class hero talent. Wong Leang can imagine how much anger he will bear when he returns to school. The family power behind those students alone will probably bring him huge trouble. I really didn't expect that Wusheng Academy would give out 2 golden mission evaluations. This is the highest mission evaluation. It seems that last time in the Forbidden Area number 2, these 2 students also received high evaluations, especially the young man, who also received the highest evaluation last time, and I heard that he also received the Flame Talent. These 2 students are really amazing. As long as nothing happens to these 2 students, Wusheng Academy is likely to rise. In next year's assessment, the school's ranking will definitely rise a lot. Yes, the biggest winner this time is Wusheng Academy. Compared to Wusheng Academy is a bit miserable this time. We don't care about all the yellow comments. I'm afraid Wusheng Academy won't be able to accept it. They still have students who haven't come back yet. It seems that the students from Wusheng Academy are not all here, right? Haha, I'm afraid you don't know who the students from Wusheng Academy died this time, right? Let me tell you, among them are 2 S-class hero talent successors. Hiss, real or fake, S-class hero talents, every time you lose one, it's a big deal. Didn't you see that the instructor of the martial arts academy had an unusual look on his face? After such a big incident, it's strange that his face looks normal. The teachers were all discussing in low voices. The eyes they looked at Wong Leang were also full of sympathy. It is almost foreseeable that Wong Leang will be in bad luck when he goes back. The students of Martial God College were also discussing quietly. I really didn't expect that Zhao Fusheng, Lu Feng and the others had an accident and didn't come back. 2 S-level hero talents died at once. This was a big event for Wusheng Academy. I feel like my mentor will definitely be in bad luck after he returns. Only now do I know that the newspaper I saw in the Forbidden Area should be talking about these 2 people from Wusheng Academy, right? It must be them, otherwise it wouldn't be the highest rating. These 2 people are so powerful that they turned a country into a world of zombies. So fierce. Why do you feel like they are the real geniuses? Do you think the deaths of Zhao Fusheng and others were related to these 2 people? This is indeed a possibility. Didn't Zhao Fusheng and the others accept the mission of killing zombies? That shouldn't be the case, right? Can these 2 people defeat Zhao Fusheng and Lu Feng? No matter how you say it, this result is too unexpected. This is the first time that Wusheng Academy has lost to someone else. Actually, Wong Leang is also a master. A character who has experienced many forbidden places and survived successfully. The average of his 4 basic attributes is almost over 100, he is powerful, and his 6 senses are sensitive. If not for that, what qualifications does he have? Go to Martial Arts Academy to be a tutor. So, although the surrounding discussions were quiet, they could not escape Wong Leang's ears. Wong Leang was furious when he heard those comments. In addition, he also knew that the matter was serious. If he did nothing, he would definitely not be able to afford it when he went back this time. Thinking of this, Wong Leang suddenly rushed to Fang Yi and asked loudly. Fang Yi, is your name Fang Yi? Let me ask you, were some of my students killed by you? Everyone was stunned. No one expected that Wong Leang would do something like this. Although the state explicitly prohibits private fights of life and death among students. But in the Forbidden Area, who can control so many people? Deaths are common in the Forbidden Area. Sometimes when 2 students have conflicting tasks, they will kill each other. This is not uncommon. Everyone has turned a blind eye to this. If such a thing really happened, those who were killed could only blame themselves for not being as skilled as others and thinking that they were unlucky. There had never been a mentor like Wong Leang. If his student had an accident, he would blame the students from other colleges. Wong Leang's move was a bit like a shrew, using his power to bully others. No grace at all. Then, when everyone thought about it carefully, they understood why Wong Leang did this. This guy probably knew that it would be difficult to do business when he went back, so he wanted to shirk responsibility and deliberately shifted the blame to others. He had really vicious intentions. Some smart people thought of this and looked at Wong Leang with some disdain and disgust. Wong Leang, you don't want to slander anyone. Before Fang Yi could say anything, Yan Tai took the initiative to stand up and said coldly, "You framed my students, just wait until you go to the extraordinary court." I will definitely sue you. As Fang Yi's mentor, Yantai must stand up at this time, otherwise where will his face be? Moreover, Yantai has a protective character. He can be strict with students in normal times. But it is absolutely not allowed. Someone slandered his student. Wong Leang turned a blind eye to Yantai's threats. Just sue. Even if he loses the lawsuit, he will just apologize. Compared to the current predicament, what is this punishment? Wong Leang's eyes, staring at Fang Yi. I heard that you have the power of fire, and you got the highest mission reward last time. Your strength is extraordinary. You are the only one who has this strength to pose a threat to my students. This is an attempt to pour dirty water on Fang Yi. This teacher, you can eat shit, but you can't talk nonsense. Fang Yi said calmly, I don't even remember what your student looks like. What evidence do you have that I killed your student? Moreover, in the Forbidden Area number 3, the most powerful ones are zombies. The only killers who can kill your students are zombies. Before throwing dirty water, use your brain first. Do your family members know that you are so mentally retarded? Of course Fang Yi will not admit this matter. In any case, the country prohibits students from killing each other. Even in the Forbidden Area, the party at fault is Zhao Fusheng and others, and Fang Yi is forced to fight back. That can't be admitted. In this world, it doesn't mean that you can be just if you are reasonable. The emergence of Zhao Fan's power will make all justice in this world have to give in to the powerful. If Fang Yi tells the truth about what happened in the Forbidden Area, do you believe that there will be strong power to deal with him soon? At that time, it will be difficult for Wusheng Academy to protect him. Because, through Suicho, Fang Yi knew that 3 of the students who were bitten to death by Old Master Ren individuals have a very big background. For example, Zhao Fusheng is a direct descendant of the Zhao family in the capital. Just being a member of the Zhao family can bring endless trouble to Fang Yi. If Fang Yi is given 3 years to grow up, he will not afraid of trouble. By then he will be invincible. Even if he admits it openly, it will be nothing. No one can do anything to him. This is the privilege of the strong. But now, Fang Yi has no bad brain and will not admit this thing. Puff. Fang Yi's words made many people laugh. Especially the sentence, you can eat shit, but you can't talk nonsense, made many people laugh out loud. Wong Leang's face turned into pig liver with anger. He snorted coldly and said, anyway, you are suspicious. I will apply for a hypnotist to investigate this matter. Throwing these words, Wong Leang took his students and left here quickly. Then, everyone also left. Almost every teacher would take a deep look at Fang Yi and Suicho before leaving. If not, Yantai was on guard, and I'm afraid these teachers were eager to come and rob someone. This farce ended here. On the bus back, the carriage was very lively, and many students were talking about it. In fact, many students were very satisfied with the results of this trip to the Forbidden Area. The yellow rating is indeed poor, but most of the people in Wusheng Academy are ordinary people without talent. In the last Forbidden Area, there are still many people who received gray evaluations. Being able to safely get a yellow rating already makes them very satisfied. Only Fang Yi was frowning. Wong Leang's last words made him a little uneasy. Apply for a hypnotist survey. In a world with extraordinary power, Fang Yi believed that the hypnotist Wong Leang talked about was definitely not the tricks that tricked people in the previous life on Earth. He was afraid that this so-called hypnotist was really capable and could make him say truth. Even his secrets were exposed. A few hours later, the bus arrives at the school. As soon as they got off the bus, Yantai called out to Fang Yi and Suicho. You two, follow me to the office. Fang Yi knew that Yantai had something to say. He and Suicho looked at each other and saw firmness in each other's eyes. In fact, before returning, Fang Yi had considered this situation and discussed it with Suicho in advance. The confession has been prepared. That is, if you refuse to admit it. After all, it will bring trouble to yourself. There is no need to show off your courage. In the office, Yantai politely poured water for the two of them. Come, two great heroes, drink some water. It can be seen that Yantai is in a good mood. He can't hold back the smile on his face. Congratulations to both of you for getting another excellent result. The principal has heard about this and is having a meeting to study it. He plans to give you some rewards. I hope you can continue to work hard and create greater glories. Yan Tai said with a smile. Seeing that Fang Yi did not show a happy look, Yan Tai asked, Fang Yi, are you worried about what the instructor of Martial Arts Academy said before leaving? It was something he wanted to apply for a hypnotist to investigate. Fang Yi said calmly, I'm afraid, but I'm not afraid. My body is not afraid of slanting shadows. However, I'm curious, what's going on with this hypnotist's investigation? Teacher, can you tell me? Oh, hypnotists are actually people who have acquired spiritual talents. Yan Tai told a secret. Our country actually controls many forbidden areas that are not open to the public. There is one forbidden area. It is said that it is easy to acquire the natural ability in hypnosis, and has always been used by the country as a base for cultivating special talents. Fang Yi was shocked. So, those hypnotists really have the ability to hypnotize. That's right. Yan Tai nodded, glanced at Fang Yi, and said with a smile, don't worry, that Wong Leang is trying to scare you. Although the state controls many hypnotists, you can't just apply if you want. Even if he really has that connection, it's against the rules to do this. The school can help you block it, so don't pay attention. Hearing this, Fang Yi remained calm on his face, but he breathed a heavy sigh of relief in his heart. Yan Tai reminded again. However, he insists on pouring dirty water on you, which is also a trouble. Maybe on the surface, no one will pay attention to him, but secretly, it is difficult to predict what the families behind those students think. In any case, as long as you stay in school, no one will dare to touch you. Okay, I understand, thank you teacher. Fang Yi said. Suicho also said, thank you, teacher, for taking such good care of us. What kind of care is this? Yan Tai waved his hand and suddenly asked, Fang Yi, Suicho, those students from Wushan Academy, won't they really be destroyed by you? Teacher, I don't understand what you are talking about. Fang Yi said calmly, I have never seen them in the forbidden area. If you don't believe me, ask Suicho. Suicho quickly followed. Yes. Yan Tai glanced at the two of them meaningfully, suddenly laughed and said, okay. That's it, Fang Yi, and Suicho, you two remember, no matter who asks you in the future, you will always say this, and leave the rest to the teacher. Only then did the two of them realize that Yan Tai was not just saying something, but was specifically reminding them because he was afraid that they would not be honest. Fang Yi frowned. Teacher, what do you mean by this? Will someone come to examine us? It's not a review, just a question. Yan Tai nodded and said, but it's not because of those dead students. It's because of the highest task evaluation you got. In fact, Fang Yi, last time you got the highest task evaluation in the Forbidden Area number 2, you already alarmed many people above. At that time, some people wanted to ask questions, but they were suppressed by the school. This time, you have received a golden mission evaluation again. The superiors must send someone to ask you what is your strategy for achieving this. Of course, if you don't want to say it, you can refuse. Having said this, Yan Tai thought for a while and said, however, the teacher still hopes that you can make the strategy public. This is a good thing that benefits society. In addition, the country will not let your efforts go in vain and will give you rewards. Hearing this, Fang Yi knew that this Lao Yan was still an idealist and had the motherland at heart. Fang Yi didn't care at all about the strategy for Forbidden Area No. 3. Because this strategy can be easily figured out by smart people. Didn't Zhao Fusheng and those guys think of it? Moreover, if you want to play Fang Yi's strategy well, you must have enough strength, at least be able to suppress the zombies. In the number 3 Forbidden Area, there were people with such strength, very few. Most people can't play it at all. To put it simply, it's the trick Fang Yi played in Forbidden Land number 3. It's not suitable for everyone. As for the strategy for Forbidden Land number 2, Fang Yi doesn't want to tell others. You can say that Fang Yi is selfish. Fang Yi also admits that he is selfish. Knowing the plot is Fang Yi's unique advantage. He doesn't want to take advantage of others. Fang Yi thought for a while and said, Teacher, I don't like to be questioned. Can the school help me? Yan Tai was stunned and asked, Fang Yi, don't you want your strategy to be made public? Fang Yi shook his head and said, I just don't want to be questioned. Regarding the strategy, I can tell you, teacher. Then, can I ask you, teacher, to help me. Hearing this, Yan Tai didn't know. No matter what you say, I have no choice but to agree. Okay, if there is any reward from above, the teacher will give it to you as soon as possible. Regarding Forbidden Land number 3, my strategy is actually very simple. Just control a zombie, let it bite people, turn others into zombies, and then kill them, and you can get unlimited mission evaluations. Yan Tai was a little surprised when he heard the strategy mentioned by Fang Yi. Your strategy, teacher, are you trying to say that this guide is inhumane? Fang Yi said with a smile. Don't worry, teacher, the people I killed by zombies were all evil people who deserved their punishment. Yan Tai felt better after hearing this. So how many zombies did you kill to get the golden mission rating? Yan Tai asked. Fang Yi said truthfully, more than 200,000. What? Yan Tai looked horrified. More than 200,000. Not just a dozen. This means that hundreds of thousands of people were turned into zombies by Fang Yi and then killed again. How terrifying. Teacher, I also killed more than 200,000 zombies. Suicho added. Yan Tai. Looking at these two students, Yan Tai didn't know how to evaluate them. Zombies are dangerous and not weak at all. How do you control them? Yan Tai asked. Teacher, have you forgotten that I have the talent for fire? Fang Yi said with a smile. Zombies are afraid of fire. Through this weakness, I controlled the old man Ren who had just transformed into a zombie, and directly removed its hands and feet, so that it could only be driven by me. The same goes for other zombies. Before they transform into corpses, I cut off their hands and feet. It's much easier to kill them. In addition, zombies will evolve if they drink too much blood. In order to prevent situations beyond my control, I will not use each zombie for too long and kill them before they evolve. Fang Yi said. He didn't tell the truth. The real situation is of course not as careful as what he said. In the forbidden area, he used violence to control the zombies. From what you said, it is still very dangerous. It is not easy for you to be able to do this. Yan Tai sighed. Fang Yi nodded and said, that's right, so Suicho and I worked together in the forbidden area for a month. After all, a person's energy is limited. With only one person, eating, drinking, urinating, and sleeping are all problems. If someone wants to use this strategy of mine, it's best to find a few partners. Yan Tai nodded and looked at the two of them. I said you two have the highest mission evaluation, so that's it. From the beginning to the end. Suicho didn't speak. When it comes to lying, it's best if one person tells it, and it's easy for two people to tell the truth. Yan Tai suddenly remembered something. At the exit of No. 3 Forbidden Area, he heard a lot of people talking. The students of Wushan College said that the few students who did not come back chose the task of killing zombies. Maybe those people also used Fang Yi's plan. After all, this plan is quite feasible. Once it can be successfully implemented, it is indeed easy to get a high mission evaluation. Moreover, this plan is not complicated and can be easily thought of. So, could it be that those people from Wushan Academy were really killed by Fang Yi? In fact, both sides have the same goal. It is easier for conflicts to arise. Thinking of this, Yan Tai glanced at Fang Yi and Suicho calmly, feeling that his two students were really not simple. Fang Yi, what's the mission guide for Forbidden Land number 2? Care to talk about it? Yan Tai asked. When Fang Yi heard the words, he opened his mouth to lie. At that time, I was being chased by lickers in Forbidden Area 2, and I used obstacles to escape. I kept running, and I didn't even know how the lickers behind me disappeared. I didn't stop until I couldn't hold on anymore. Then, on the street next to me, I found a military vehicle, and in the military vehicle, I found a map to the military base. Later, I got a lot of weapons and ammunition in the military base, and started killing zombies. Before time travel, Fang Yi especially loved reading novels. After reading a lot, I naturally became more comfortable making up stories. What he said was completely flawless. If Yan Tai asked him, where is the military vehicle with the map? Fang Yi said that he was only focused on escaping at that time and did not know. It's getting late, you two go to the cafeteria to eat. Yan Tai warned, stay in school recently and don't run around. Just now, even he was speculating whether those students from Wushan College would really die in Fang Yi's hands, let alone someone else. Yantai can be sure that when the matter spreads, the families behind those students will. Fang Yi and Su Zicho will definitely be listed as suspect targets. Maybe they can't know what Fang Yi is like, so they can still use dirty tricks secretly. For example, direct assassination. Su Zicho is fine. Yantai knows that the Su family is also a big family, can make people fearful. Fang Yi is more dangerous. The school has already investigated Fang Yi's information. After all, he is the school's key training target. And Fang Yi's background is very simple, he is a civilian with a clean slate. There is no power at all. If those people want to vent their anger, their first choice target must be Fang Yi. Then teacher, let's go. The next day, when word spread about the forbidden area No. 3, Fang Yi and Su Zicho became popular. Their names are not only circulated in major universities. Even countless netizens on the internet are discussing them. The most obvious change is that when Fang Yi walks in school, he is often stared at by other students. No matter where he is the focus. In the eyes that looked at him, there was jealousy, disdain, and amazement, and most of all, envy. Fortunately, Fang Yi had already applied to Yantai to live in a single room, and the school had already approved it, so that he wouldn't have to face his roommates. Fang Yi didn't care about how others saw him. He still insists on exercising every day, silently accumulating strength. Name: Fang Yi. Race: human. Physique: 522. Spirit: 309. Strength: 521. Agility: 503. Bloodline: Saitama. Physique: awakened. Super talent: flame. This is Fang Yi's current attribute. In the Forbidden Area number 3, he also took the time to exercise several times and improved some attributes. Another day passed. Su Zicho was reading in the library when he suddenly received a call. When she saw the caller ID, she frowned slightly, then thought about it and answered the call. Hello, Mom. Hello, Mom. On the phone, a mature female voice came. Zichu, are you in school? Exist. Okay, I'll be at the gate of your school. After saying that, he hung up the phone. It can be seen from this that this mother's attitude towards Su Zicho. There was no intention to discuss at all. She directly said that she was at the school gate and asked Su Zicho to come out. Strong, domineering. Absolutely, there was no room for Su Zicho to refuse. Listening to the busy signal on the phone, Su Zicho frowned, then sighed, put down the book, and left the library silently. No matter what, that person was her mother after all. Since everyone when he came to school, Su Zicho had to go see him once. As soon as he walked out of the library, a sunny and handsome boy suddenly walked up to him, holding a bouquet of flowers in his hand, and walked up to Su Zicho affectionately. Su Zicho, I like you. There are many cheering students nearby, who are cheering loudly. Promise him, promise him, promise him. To be honest, Su Zicho was a little confused by this sudden scene. After she reacted, she immediately showed a faint smile. Although she was smiling, the look on her pretty face was repulsive. Sorry, senior, we are not suitable. Throwing these words, Su Zicho turned around and left without even looking at the young man. The handsome boy stayed there in shock, his face turning green and red, and he was so embarrassed that he couldn't get off the stage. In fact, Su Zicho made a similar confession. I have met them many times, but this time the boy is more bold. Of course, no matter who comes to confess to Su Zicho, the result will be the same, being hit. Because Su Zicho's heart has long belonged to one person. What just happened? The incident was quickly forgotten by Su Zicho. A few minutes later, Su Zicho arrived at the school gate and saw a luxury car parked there quietly. Seeing Su Zicho appear, the driver quickly opened the back seat door. In the back seat of the car, there was a middle-aged lady sitting. When she saw Su Zicho, she did not get out of the car. She just waved to Su Zicho and motioned for Su Zicho to get in the car. Su Zicho walked over, but did not get in the car. She just stood by the door and asked, Mom, why are you here? Seeing that Su Zicho disobeyed her and did not get in the car, the lady frowned slightly, and then smiled again. Come here to see you, get in the car, and have a meal with me at noon. Hearing this, Su Zicho had no choice but to get in the car. It was impossible for her to refuse even a meal. It would be too disrespectful. After Su Zicho got in the car, Li Yufan said to the driver calmly, "Drive." "Madam, where are we going?" "Go to a cleaner hotel." The car started. Half an hour later, Su Zicho and Li Yufan were already in a high-end hotel. One by one, exquisite lunches were served on the table. Neither mother and daughter had any intention of looking at the dishes. They don't even seem to have any appetite. "Zicho, I haven't come to see you since the beginning of the school year. Do you think you blame me?" Li Yufan asked with a smile. These words made Su Zicho a little uncomfortable, because her mother had never been so polite to her since she could remember. All along, her mother had only other people in her heart, and there was no place for her at all. Su Zicho knew that the mother's change must be due to her 2 trips to the Forbidden Area and her good results. Especially in the Forbidden Area number 3, with the help of Fang Yi, she got the highest task evaluation. Even on the internet, this matter there are countless people discussing it on the internet. It's impossible not to know at home. "Mom, you must be looking for me for something, right?" Su Zicho didn't want to be hypocritical anymore and asked directly, "If you have anything to say, just tell me." Li Yufan's face showed a hint of displeasure. "What? It's okay, so I can't come and see you." She is used to being domineering at home, and this anger is quite powerful. Su Zicho's pretty face was calm. "Of course, but this is not like your style of conduct." Of course Li Yufan couldn't fail to hear the meaning behind these words. Her daughter was talking about her, and she usually ignored her, but now she came to flatter her, and she obviously had other motives. Li Yufan was very angry, and stared at Su Zicho with an angry look on her face. Su Zicho still looked calm. After a moment, Li Yufan suddenly laughed. "Okay, I have grown up, and I know how to talk back to my mother. No, I'm just telling a fact." Li Yufan nodded and did not refute her daughter. She also knew that she had given all her preference to another child and was indeed harsh and uncaring towards Su Zicho, so that the daughter in front of her was full of resentment towards her. However, even if she had to do it all over again, Li Yufan would still choose to do this. A daughter is a daughter. How can she compare with the direct male members of the family? "Mom is looking for you, something is indeed wrong." Li Yufan calmed down and said slowly, "Everyone at home already knows about your performance in school this time. Your uncles all praise you for your achievements, and the old man is also very happy." After hearing this, Su Zicho's face remained calm, and she did not show any proud expression. Having grown up in that kind of environment, she is much more mature than her peers in this regard, and will not let others praise her. "Can't find the north. Even the Wong family has heard about you." Li Yufan suddenly smiled and said, "Uncle Wong, do you still remember? He wants to marry into our family, and your father has already agreed to this." Hearing this, Su Zicho's pretty face finally stopped being calm. "Your Uncle Wang's son, Wang Chao, is 22 years old this year and a junior at Wushan College. He is also a very talented person and his future is unlimited." Li Yufan continued, "I have his number here. Please note it down later and follow him when you have time." "I disagree." Su Zicho spoke directly, interrupting Li Yufan's words. Li Yufan was startled, and the smile on her face slowly disappeared. Before she could say anything, Su Zicho said again, "Because I already have a boyfriend." "Have a boyfriend?" Li Yufan frowned and asked, "Is he your classmate?" Seeing Su Zicho nodding, Li Yufan said, "What can your classmates do?" It's not that Li Yufan said something unpleasant. It's that Wusheng Academy is a pheasant university in the first place. The people who go there are ordinary people who can't fit in with the heroes. They are indeed worthless. Su Zicho didn't want to refute, and said calmly, "Even if there is no future, it is still my choice. Of what did you choose?" Li Yufan sneered, and then said sternly, "Don't forget, your surname is Su. No one will allow you to be so willful in this matter." Su Zicho looked at her mother quietly and suddenly laughed. "Mom, when I got perfect marks in liberal arts, I could have gone to a better university and studied other majors. Do you know why I chose Wusheng College? Because I know that no matter how outstanding I am in other fields, I will never be able to escape the control of people like you. But Martial Saint Academy can, it can bring me strength, the power to control my own destiny." After hearing these words, Li Yufan looked at Su Zicho blankly. It was as if she was meeting her daughter for the first time. Then, a look of anger appeared on her face again, and she coldly snorted, "Do you think that with your current achievements, will it set you free? One day it will be possible. And I believe that this day will not be long." Su Zicho's pretty face showed a trace of inexplicable joy. This was the first time she resisted her mother. Fight for her own destiny. Say no to her powerful parents. Don't tell me, this feeling makes her very intoxicated. She tasted freedom for the first time. Childish. Li Yufan snorted coldly and said disdainfully, "Do you really think that entering the forbidden area is just playing house? After getting the results twice, I don't know what I believe anymore. The danger in the forbidden area behind is beyond your imagination." Su Zicho said firmly, "Even if I die in the forbidden area one day, it will be my choice. I will never regret it." At this point, Su Zicho seemed to have lost his patience. He stood up and said, "Mom, I have classes in the afternoon, so I'll leave first." Throwing these words, Su Zicho ignored her mother's cannibalistic gaze and turned to leave. Now that her mother has used her as a tool for marriage, of course she will not be as submissive as before. Su Zicho has heard of Wong Chao of the Wong family. He was just a playboy. Although he was lucky enough to meet the talent of an A-level hero and was admitted to the Martial God Academy. However, he still behaved like a pustule in school. I heard that starting from his sophomore year, he stopped participating in all forbidden areas. Now he hasn't been expelled from the school yet, and it's entirely because of the Wong family's network. For such a person, Li Yufan even unconscionably said that he has a bright future. Leave the hotel. Su Zicho took a taxi back to school. She is not afraid that her family will directly cut off her living expenses. Just yesterday, the school had completely exempted her from all future tuition and fees, and she can still get scholarships every year. If the money is really not enough, she can still go to work. Su Zicho feels like a bird that has just escaped from trouble and is about to spread its wings and fly. After getting out of the taxi and returning to school, Su Zicho had a smile on her pretty face. What she didn't know was, on the street opposite the school gate, there was a pair of eyes staring at her back. In the hotel restaurant, the exquisite dishes in front of Li Yufan were untouched. She was almost fed up. No one has dared to disobey her like this. After Su Zicho left, Li Yufan sat there for a while, then left the restaurant and returned to her car. The driver asked, "Madam, where are you going?" "Go back." Li Yufan replied dully, and then suddenly said, "Old Li, please arrange a few reliable people to find out which boy Zicho is closer to in school." The driver said calmly, "I understand, madam." The next day, morning, Fang Yi and Su Zicho, who were in class, were invited to Yan Tai's office again. Yan Tai was polite at first and poured a glass of water for the two of them. Then he took out 2 cards and handed them to them respectively. "Teacher, what is this?" Su Zicho didn't understand what it meant. Yan Tai smiled and said, "Don't think too much. This time, you performed well in the number 3 forbidden area and brought glory to the school. This is a little reward from the school. It's not much money. Take it." Hearing this, Fang Yi accepted it nonchalantly. He now had a small million on hand, so he was not short of money at all. Su Zicho happily accepted it. "Thank you, teacher." She is just about to become independent, and she plans not to spend a penny from her family again. Otherwise, after pretending to be cool with her mother, she turns around and has to ask for living expenses from her family. How embarrassing would that be? Just last night, Su Zicho she was already preparing to do part-time jobs. This money solved her urgent need. After both of them accepted the cards, Yan Tai smiled again and said, "It's been more than 2 months since you entered school, next month. On the day of the joint entrance examination for hundreds of schools, as for the school, I hope you too can participate on behalf of the school. The rewards for this joint entrance examination of 100 schools are very rich. It would be a pity to miss it," etc. Fang Yi suddenly spoke and asked with a confused look on his face, "What is the 100 schools joint entrance examination?" As soon as he finished speaking, Yan Tai and Su Zicho both looked at him with strange expressions. "Fang Yi, you don't even know about such a big thing as the 100 schools joint entrance examination, right?" Yan Tai asked with a surprised look on his face. Don't you usually use your mobile phone to surf the internet? Well, Fang Yi said truthfully. Recently, there have been a lot of strange calls coming in every day on my mobile phone. I just turned it off without knowing anything about it. After hearing this, Suicho realized why Fang Yi, this guy, has been so busy these days, and never took the initiative to contact her. It turned out that she was tired of being harassed, so she just turned off her phone. Thinking of this, Suicho's originally resentful mood suddenly felt much better. That's what dog licking is. Take the initiative to make excuses for the people you like. She also didn't think about it. If Fang Yi really wanted to contact Suicho, he could easily find her even if they were in the same school without using a mobile phone. When Yan Tai heard Fang Yi's words, his heart suddenly jumped. He knew that there were probably many harassing phone calls from other schools, right? Good to shut down. Thinking of this, Yan Tai immediately said with a smile, "It doesn't matter if you don't know, let me introduce you to the 100 Schools Joint Entrance Examination first." The 100 Schools Joint Entrance Examination, also known as the National Freshman Competition, is held every year. It mainly tests the freshmen's gains in the 2 forbidden areas. All schools that are eligible to participate in the forbidden area must send new students to participate. Each school has to send 7 freshmen to represent the school in the competition. 5 are main players and 2 are substitutes. Through Yan Tai's explanation, Fang Yi finally understood what was going on. Actually, it's a national competition for freshmen. The country uses this method to test the freshmen's gains in the past 2 months, and at the same time encourages the freshmen to work harder to enter the forbidden areas. After Yan Tai finished talking about the rules of the competition, he added, "In this competition, the rewards are very rich. The top 10 can all participate once in a forbidden area that is not open to the public. The championship group is even more powerful. In addition to the quota to participate in the forbidden area, everyone can also receive a generous bonus, and a super soldier serum is also awarded." Super soldier serum is a good thing. It is said that injection of super soldier serum can instantly turn an ordinary person into a strong person. The rewards in previous years were not so generous. Yan Tai sighed, and then said, "In previous competitions, our Wusheng Academy was always at the bottom, but this year is different. This year we have you too." Speaking of this, Yan Tai looked at the 2 of them with burning eyes and said seriously, "Although the starting point of you 2 is not as good as that of those who have the talent of a hero, the results of your 2 trips to the Forbidden Land are better than those of others. The best of the freshmen. In terms of overall strength, you 2 are not necessarily weaker than those geniuses. The principal has already said that if you 2 can represent the school and reach the top 10, I will give you an extra bonus as a reward." Obviously, although Yan Tai has confidence in Fang Yi and Suicho, he doesn't expect that they can lead the freshmen and win the top 3. After all, Fang Yi and Suicho are the only ones who can do it in Wusheng Academy. After listening to what Yan Tai said, Fang Yi's heart moved slightly. Is there a super soldier serum among the championship rewards? Fang Yi certainly knows a lot about the super soldier serum. That's an artifact from the Marvel world, and it's what the US team relies on to counterattack. However, Fang Yi doesn't like it. If he just works out for a few days, his increased attributes may be as effective as the super soldier serum. On the contrary, what Fang Yi values more is the rewards for the top 10. As long as you reach the top 10, you can participate in a forbidden area that is not open to the public. Since it is not open to the public, it means that there must be good things in this forbidden area. Fang Yi and Suicho looked at each other and saw the same meaning in each other's eyes. Since it is a matter of bringing glory to the school, of course I am willing to contribute. Fang Yi said with a smile. Suicho also followed. I think the same as Fang Yi. Seeing the 2 people agreeing simply, Yan Tai immediately became happy. Good. Yan Tai laughed and said, "This time with you 2 in our Wusheng Academy, we will definitely not be at the bottom again." Hearing this, Fang Yi was a little speechless. Does Lao Yan have expectations in his heart that he is not at the bottom? So unsure of his own students. So the encouragement just now was all deception. Yan Tai said again, "Yes, now, I have to choose some teammates for you. Do you have any suggestions? If you have any recommendations, please submit them." Fang Yi waved his hand and said, "I don't care. I will follow the school's arrangements. It doesn't matter, because Fang Yi usually doesn't like to play with those frivolous young people. The most direct consequence of this is that he has no friends in school, except Suicho. Yan Tai looked at Suicho asked, Suicho, what about you? Do you have any recommendations? There is indeed one, Suicho said with a smile. I would like to recommend my roommate to participate. 3 days later, on the school playground, Yan Tai was dressed in training clothes and looked at the 7 freshmen in front of him with a serious face. These 7 new students, they are the people who participated in the freshman competition from Wusheng Academy this time. Now I announce the list of freshmen who will take part in the 100 school joint entrance examination. The 5 main team members are Fang Yi, Suicho, Liu Qiangsheng, Zhao Shengnan, and Zheng Bing. 2 substitutes, Zhou Dahai, Zhang Yan. Now, I'll give you 5 minutes to choose your captain. Hearing this, the other 5 people all looked at Fang Yi and Suicho in unison. They all knew that the real main force this time relied on these 2 people. The captain naturally chose between them. Suicho was about to speak. Unexpectedly, Fang Yi took the lead and said, I support Suicho as the captain. The captain's duty is to give orders and direct the players during the game. Fang Yi feels that with Suicho's intelligence, he is qualified enough. If he is allowed to come, it's not that he has no confidence in himself. It's just that Fang Yi finds it troublesome. Hearing Fang Yi's words, Suicho was a little stunned. She didn't expect that Fang Yi would actually recommend her to be the captain. Originally, she wanted to choose Fang Yi. Since Fang Yi spoke first, Suicho had to hold back her words. Go back. She believed it. Fang Yi must have had his intentions in doing this. When the other team members saw that Suicho was silent, they all said, I also choose Suicho to be the captain. Agree. Me too. Passed unanimously. Yan Tai said to Suicho, the captain's only responsibility is to analyze the opponent and make the most correct judgment during the game. Since everyone has chosen you to be the captain, I hope you can take on this responsibility. Teacher, I will try my best. Suicho said seriously. Good. Yan Tai nodded and glanced at everyone. There is still half a month left before the competition. During this half month, I will teach some team competition tactics. You must remember them. The students were all listening attentively, except for Fang Yi. Regarding Fang Yi's lazy look, Yan Tai chose to ignore it and continued. The competition will take place in a very peaceful forbidden area. This forbidden area can be entered and exited freely. When the time comes, many people will go to watch the match. Therefore, some underhanded methods must not be used. In each competition, there are 5 people from both sides, competing in a secret realm called King's Canyon. When teaming up with 5 people, it is best to choose different professions. Fang Yi, if you have the talent of fire, you can be the main attacker in the middle. Suicho, your archery talent is amazing, and you are the main attacker in the bottom lane. Zhao Shengnan, I remember that you added physical attributes to all the bonus attributes. You are responsible for attracting damage. Pay attention to guarding our crystals. Once the crystals are knocked out, the game will be lost. Yan Tai kept talking, and Fang Yi was completely stunned at this moment. Canyon of Kings, our crystal, why is this so familiar? Listening to what Yan Tai said, a scene of a competitive game automatically appeared in Fang Yi's mind. He never expected that the venue for the national freshman competition would be a place like this. At this time, Yan Tai took out a huge map and placed it in front of the students. This is the map in the Canyon of Kings, everyone, take a look. The students immediately looked at the map. When Fang Yi saw the map, the speculation in his mind immediately became a certainty. It is indeed the map in that game. Exactly the same, the so-called freshman competition, the real rules, turns out to be a 5v5 competitive game. Fang Yi complained silently in his heart. Originally, with his strength, it was no problem to win the freshman competition. If a fight really breaks out, all the freshmen will be kids in front of Fang Yi. Now, I am more sure. Fang Yi can say without exaggeration that no one in the Canyon of Kings is more familiar with this game than him. In his previous life, he worked countless days and nights in order to get higher scores. I even broke a few of my cell phones. His highest rank has reached dozens of stars in the King of Glory. I can't say how powerful he is. At least there is Feng Yi's name on the national server list. Let me first introduce you to the rules. Yan Tai pointed to the 3 routes on the map and asked Feng Yi and others, have you seen these 3 routes? Each route eventually leads to the crystal on its own side. On each route, there are 3 energy towers. After the game officially begins, our first task is to destroy the energy towers on the enemy's route before we can attack the enemy's crystals. Note that the energy tower has a warning range, about 50 meters. Once the enemy enters its warning range, it will automatically attack the enemy. Everyone must be careful. The energy tower's attack damage is very high, and it has an automatic aiming function. It cannot be avoided. If you can't hold it for a few times, you will die. If you want to destroy the energy tower, the best way is to wait for your own mechanical soldiers to enter the warning range of the opponent's energy tower. At that time, the energy tower will give priority to attacking the mechanical soldiers. This is your opportunity to destroy the energy tower. In the same way, if you see the enemy's mechanical soldiers appear, you must clear them out in time to avoid the opponent stealing the tower. Suicho had been listening carefully. When she heard this, she suddenly discovered a loophole and raised her hand. Seeing this, Yan Tai immediately asked, Suicho, what's your problem? Teacher. Suicho pointed to the energy tower on the map and said, what if someone stands outside the energy tower's cordon and attacks? Will it destroy the energy tower? For example, I am confident that I can hit the target within a range of 200 meters. This is Suicho's modesty. In fact, with her current strength, she can hit the target within 1,000 meters. Hearing this, Yan Tai smiled and said, Suicho, it's good that you can think of this. However, such loopholes will certainly not appear. When the energy tower is not attacking, it is in a state of self-protection, and there will be a layer of defensive energy on the surface. In the state of self-protection, your attacks are almost ineffective. Only when the energy tower attacks the mechanical soldiers will its protective energy disappear. Everyone immediately understood. Do you have any questions? No one spoke. Yan Tai continued. In addition, you should also pay attention to the mechanical soldiers. Although they are just a group of dead objects walking according to a fixed program, if you get close to them, they will fight back. Of course, their attack speed is very slow and their power is very weak. As long as you don't stand still, you will definitely not be defeated by the mechanical soldiers. There will be mechanical soldiers on all 3 routes, so all 3 routes must be guarded. There are also some monsters in the canyon. Killing them will provide you with buffs, such as increased speed, increased attack strength, etc. However, there are 2 monsters that are very powerful, namely the Dark Tyrant and the Shadow Master. Their growth rate is also stronger, so it is best to team up to kill them. Because fighting alone has little chance of winning. In the Canyon of Kings, you must be brave and don't be afraid of sacrifice. Because even if you die, you will not really die. You will be resurrected behind the energy crystal. Of course, try not to die if you can. Every time you die, the time for resurrection will increase exponentially. When the enemy takes advantage of your death to sneak attack on the energy tower, something serious will happen. There are 3-way energy towers. It is recommended that you choose to attack all the way. During the game, there is a communicator for everyone to communicate with each other. If you encounter danger, you must call your teammates for help in time. If you encounter a well-matched opponent, kill more monsters, get buffs, and then engage in a team battle. As long as you can destroy the opponent in one wave, you can go straight to Wong Leang and tear down the opponent's rear area. There is only one condition for final victory, and that is to destroy the crystal behind the enemy. Yan Tai kept explaining the rules in Canyon of Kings. Everyone else listened with great interest. There is only Feng Yi. The more he listened, the more speechless he became, and the expression on his face was very strange. He really didn't expect that the national freshman competition would be conducted in this way. He thought it was just a simple martial arts competition. Even the King Pesticide forbidden area is out. What about other forbidden areas? Isn't this the world I'm familiar with? Single quote. Feng Yi thought while continuing to listen to Yan Tai's explanation. Slowly, he also discovered something different. For example, in the Canyon of Kings mentioned by Yan Tai, there is no need to purchase equipment, and there will be no monetary reward for killing mechanical soldiers. That is to say, what can affect the final battle between the two sides still depends on their own hard power. Think about it too. This is not a real game after all, but a forbidden area. No equipment or anything. Very normal. Everyone, look at this location. Yan Tai pointed to the high ground on the map and said to everyone, this area is called the high ground. It is very important. Once your opponent invades here, it means that you are only one step away from defeat. Especially the 3 Highland energy towers must not be lost. Once they are broken through by the opponent, the next step will be your crystal. In addition, no matter which Highland energy tower is destroyed, the enemy will send super robots to join the battle group. The super robot has strong attack power and high defense. Once it appears, it will pose a greater threat. Therefore, when the Highland energy tower is attacked, you must defend and protect it. Correct. I heard that if someone obtains the Super God achievement, they will receive a mysterious skill reward from the Forbidden Land. Of course, this is just a rumor. No one has ever achieved Super God achievements, because it is too difficult to achieve Super God achievements. Not only do you need to win the championship, but you must not die once from the beginning to the end of the game. In each game, you must get more than 7 heads. Hearing this, everyone felt speechless. Such harsh conditions are indeed impossible to meet. Unless, let all participating schools cooperate with you in acting alone. This is impossible to achieve. Only Fang Yi's eyes lit up. The achievement of super gods is indeed demanding, and for others, it is almost an impossible task. But Fang Yi is different. With his current strength, he still has a chance. I just don't know, what skills are the rewards for obtaining super god achievements? There are only so many specific competition rules. Is there anything else you would like to ask? Yan Tai asked. Everyone shook their heads. Yan Tai said, okay, next, I will tell you some common tactics. If you have time, you can also go online to find relevant information and competition videos. Although, this competition mainly depends on everyone's own strength. However, this does not mean that tactics are not important. On the contrary, if the tactics are used properly, even if the overall strength is weaker than the opponent, there is still a chance of comeback. Especially when encountering well-matched opponents, tactics become the key factor in determining victory or defeat. The students were listening carefully, including Fang Yi. He is now very interested in the freshman competition. I want to know what tactics people in this world have developed. The most common tactic is the single push tactic. This is also the most common tactic. Single push tactic. 5 people are divided into 3 groups, 2 groups are mainly defensive, and the remaining group is responsible for offense. Under normal circumstances, the strongest one among you needs to be responsible for the offensive group. Yan Tai said as he glanced at Fang Yi. The other students also looked at Fang Yi subconsciously. There was nothing we could do. Among the freshmen of Wusheng Academy this year, the strongest one in everyone's mind is Fang Yi. Yan Tai continued. You only need to send one person to guard the 2 defensive lanes. Allocate the remaining team members to the offensive lane, concentrate your strength, and push them all the way. Of course, this tactic tests one's combat prowess and can easily be targeted. As long as the other party sends 2 people to hold back your main force, then your remaining 2 groups will be very dangerous. The following days, just spent in various training and listening to classes. In the blink of an eye, half a month passed. Preparations for the national freshman competition have begun in full swing. Inside the school, banners and slogans have long been hung up to aspire to be among the top 10. Many students were entertained. Major media also began to build momentum. The internet is full of news about the 100 schools joint entrance examination, and some self-media are predicting which team will be the champion this year. What surprised Fang Yi was that there was a betting website where you could bet on which team would win. This is a blatant gamble. Doesn't the government care? At this time, Fang Yi was sitting on the bus heading to the airport. Next to him were other students who were going to compete this time, as well as several teachers. The dean of students personally led the team, and Yan Tai was among them. They had to go to the airport first, then take a plane to Shanghai. That peaceful forbidden land is in Shanghai. Fang Yi, what are you looking at? Suicho sat next to Fang Yi and asked in a low voice. Fang Yi said with a smile, Someone turned this competition into a gambling website, where you can bet on winning or losing. Is there a school for us? The odds are still very high. As long as you win, the odds of the first game will be as high as 5 times. Speaking of this, Fang Yi's heart moved. He was thinking, should he try it himself? After all, as long as he is here, this is a sure profit, and who would think it's too much money? And it seems that this website is quite formal, so it shouldn't be a default on your account. When Fang Yi and others arrived in Shanghai, it was already 7 o'clock in the evening. After leaving the airport, everyone went straight to the hotel. Tomorrow is the official competition day. I must go to bed early tonight to recuperate my energy. I can't go out to play. Welcome some distinguished guests. At the entrance of the hotel, there was a special receptionist, or a few of them contestants from Wusheng Academy. Please register here, and then go back to your room to put your luggage first. Dinner is prepared for you on the 3rd floor of the hotel. Everyone registered their names one after another, then took the room card, found their respective rooms, and then gathered on the 3rd floor. At this time, a large number of students gathered in the restaurant on the 3rd floor, which was very lively. The students were wearing the school uniforms are also different. There are blue uniforms, purple uniforms, and red uniforms. Fang Yi and the others are wearing blue and white uniforms. In addition to students, there are many teachers who are also here. Dinner together. Thanks to the hotel's restaurant being big enough, otherwise it really wouldn't be able to accommodate so many people. Dinner in this hotel is a buffet style. Yan Tai stood in front of everyone and said, "The meal is over there. You can get what you want to eat. I'm right here. When you are full, come and gather together and go back to the room together." Everyone nodded and walked towards the meal pickup point. The dinner was very rich, including fish, meat and seafood. There were more than a dozen chefs who were busy preparing dishes for the guests. "Fang Yi, try this shrimp. I just had it. It tastes very good." Suicho came to Fang Yi quietly. Fang Yi nodded with a smile, then picked up a few shrimps and put them on his plate. Suicho gave Fang Yi another piece of beef and said with a smile, "You eat more, because in tomorrow's game, you will definitely be the main force of our team." Fang Yi didn't refuse. Just as he was about to say something, a voice suddenly came from behind him. "Cousin." Suicho immediately turned around after hearing this and saw a girl wearing a purple school uniform, and she suddenly showed a surprised look. "Haitang, are you here too?" "Yes, you have integrated Hell Fubuki's talent. This talent has great potential, and your school must let you come." Su Haitang's pretty face suddenly showed a bit of embarrassment, but she pretended to be humble and said, "Sister, I can't compare with you. I've heard that you got super in the number 2 and number 3 forbidden areas. The high evaluation, especially the forbidden area number 3, actually received the highest mission evaluation, which is really amazing. You little girl, when did you learn to compliment others?" Suicho said with a smile. It can be seen that she has a very good relationship with this cousin. "By the way, cousin," Su Haitang suddenly said mysteriously, "I heard that you refused the marriage arranged by your second mother for you. I also heard that you found a boyfriend at school. Where is your boyfriend? Let me meet my future brother-in-law." Hearing this, Suicho's pretty face turned red all of a sudden. Even the roots of her ears were red and hot. Because Fang Yi was beside her. Although in the forbidden area number 3, the relationship between the two had gone through stages. She has made progress, but has not yet broken through the window paper. She has been waiting for Fang Yi to officially announce their relationship. At this moment, Su Haitang said it to her face. Suicho felt too embarrassed. "Freeze," said. Suicho scolded her sister in a low voice. Seeing the confused look on Su Haitang's face, as if he wanted to ask something, Suicho said first, "Come on, Haitang, let me introduce you, this is my classmate, Fang Yi. The record of 2 highest mission evaluations is held by him." Hearing this, Su Haitang's eyes suddenly lit up and he looked at Fang Yi in surprise. "Ah. I've heard about you and you're amazing. But," speaking of the latter part, Su Haitang asked doubtfully, "The internet said that you are qualified for the C-level hero talent. Why did you choose the useless C-level hero?" This was a bit like exposing one's shortcomings in person. Of course, Su Haitang didn't mean it. To put it mildly, this girl is straight-tempered and says whatever comes to mind. To put it mildly, she is a brainless person. Stop talking nonsense. Su Zicho pulled her cousin and said to Fang Yi, I'm sorry, Fang Yi, this is my cousin, she is a few months younger than me. That's her personality, she can't speak without thinking. It doesn't matter. Fang Yi looked at Su Haitang with a smile. Hello, nice to meet you. Su Haitang also realized at this time that there was something wrong with the question he just asked. Seeing that Fang Yi was not angry, he smiled and said, I'm glad to meet you too. You are quite a nice person. Speaking of this, Su Haitang seemed to have thought of something, pulled Su Zicho's sleeve, and whispered in Su Zicho's ear. Sister, is he your boyfriend? Su Zicho glared at her cousin. At this time, a sunny and handsome young man walked over from the side. Haitang, I asked why I can't see you, but it turns out you are here. The young man had a smile on his face. As he spoke, he approached a few people. When he saw Su Zicho's appearance, his expression was slightly startled. The stunning look in his eyes disappeared in a flash, and he quickly returned to normal. Are these two your friends? The young man showed a bright smile, looked at Su Zicho, and proactively introduced himself. Hello, I am Su Haitang's monitor. As he said that, he reached out to Su Zicho, as if he wanted to shake hands. Su Zicho frowned slightly, but did not shake hands. The first feeling this young man gave her was very bad. Just when when I was thinking about how to deal with it, a hand suddenly stretched out and held the young man's hand. Hello, we are from Wusheng Academy. The one who spoke was naturally Fang Yi. Although Fang Yi had not officially expressed his stance towards Su Zicho was still considered his. This fat-haired and pink-faced guy actually wanted to take advantage of Su Zicho in front of him. Fang Yi was sure can't do it and watch. Martial Saint Academy. When he heard the name of this school, the young man was slightly startled. If he remembered correctly, this should be Pheasant University. How could Su Haitang know a student from Wusheng College? The young man was not a fool. He quickly saw the difference. It means karma. This is deliberately not giving him a chance to shake hands with the beautiful woman. Thinking of this, the young man sneered in his heart. He felt that the trash of Wusheng Academy in front of him should be the suitor of the beautiful woman, so he would interfere with her. One stick. Thinking of this, the young man immediately smiled and said, it turns out he is a top student from Wusheng Academy, disrespectful. As he said that, his palms began to exert force and pinched Fang Yi hard. If he ruined his good deeds, he would make Fang Yi embarrassed in front of the beautiful woman. Feeling the weak force from his palms, Fang Yi gave a slight sigh. Stunned, he quickly understood what this young man was thinking. Oh, how dare you compete with him? Fang Yi laughed. He was willing to shake hands with the young man. Although his original intention was to rescue Su Zicho, it was also a step down for the other party to avoid. The other party was embarrassed. Unexpectedly, this kid was not only ungrateful, but also hostile to him. Want him to make a fool of himself? In that case, let's see who made the fool of himself. Thinking of this, Fang Yi began to mobilize his own power. If he is serious, if you take action, you can crush this kid's palm into pulp in an instant. At first, there was still a smile on the young man's face. His current strength attribute is close to 120 points. I believe he will definitely make the pretty boy in front of him suffer. But slowly, the smile on the young man's face disappeared. No matter how hard he tried, the pretty face in front of him and his palms did not change at all. Not only that, the young man also felt that the power in the opponent's palm was getting stronger and stronger, and he was almost unable to hold on. It's going to be bad. The young man's heart sank and he wanted to withdraw his hand. As a result, no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't break free from Fang Yi's grasp. Since this kid wants Fang Yi to make a fool of himself, Fang Yi will certainly not let him go easily. Click, click, the sound of bones dislocating came from the young man's palm. He gritted his teeth and his face turned red. Soon, huge pain came, making him unable to bear it any longer. Ah, let go. The young man's face was full of pain, and he couldn't help but scream. His scream was loud and attracted the attention of many people around him. Seeing countless eyes looking at him in surprise, the young man's face turned red and he wished he could find a crack in the ground and crawl in. It was only at this moment that Fang Yi let go of his hand. In the current situation, it is not suitable to make too much trouble, which will bring trouble to his companions. If it were in private, this young man's hand would definitely be want to be crippled. Even so, at this moment, the young man's palm has been deformed. He looked at Fang Yi with malicious eyes, wishing to kill Fang Yi. What are you two doing? Su Haitang, who was naturally stunned, realized what had just happened. Fang Yi smiled faintly. This man, you just wanted to test my strength, but I didn't expect that I used too much force. Are you okay? The young man stared at Fang Yi and gritted his teeth and said, Martial Saint Academy, very good. I remember you. After leaving these words, he looked at Su Haitang again and said, Teacher, if you want to see us for something, come with me. Okay. Su Haitang, who looked confused, followed the young man and left. After the two left, Suicho looked at Fang Yi with a smile in his eyes. She felt that Fang Yi was jealous just now. Why are you looking at me like that? Fang Yi asked with a puzzled face. Are there flowers on my face? Suicho smiled and replied, No, I just thought you were cute just now. Fang Yi sweated and said, Isn't it a bad idea to describe a man as cute? After hearing this, Suicho smiled even more happily. But soon, the smile on her face disappeared again, and she frowned and said, Fang Yi, I don't think Haitang's squad leader is a good person. I'm afraid of Haitang. If you get too close to him, you will suffer losses in the future. Suicho Bingshe is smart. She clearly saw what happened just now. It was obvious that it was the young man who wanted to take advantage of her. He angered Fang Yi and wanted to make Fang Yi embarrassed. In the end, he was taught a lesson by Fang Yi and made a fool of himself. Such a person is full of dirty thoughts, but his heart is still very dark. With Su Haitang's simple temperament, if he really gets too close to such a person, he will definitely suffer a big loss. What to do? She is just your cousin. Even if you can control her for a while, you cannot control her forever. Fang Yi said. Hearing this, Suicho also looked helpless. As Fang Yi said, she was not qualified to care who Su Haitang made friends with. Now she can only look at Su Haitang's own fate. The two of them had a full meal. Returned to Yan Tai. Fang Yi noticed that Yan Tai looked depressed, showing his unhappiness on his face. What happened to Lao Yan? Fang Yi asked a classmate next to him, who messed with him. After half a month of training, he and several classmates are familiar with each other. Zheng Bing whispered, It's the instructor Wong Leang from Wushan Academy. He is also here. After Lao Yan saw that person, very unhappy. Fang Yi was surprised when he heard this. He didn't expect that Wong Leang hadn't been expelled from Martial Arts Academy yet. Such a big thing happened last time and so many geniuses died, but this guy could still stay in the tutor team of Martial Arts Academy. I have to say, this guy does have some skills. Are you all full? Yan Tai asked. Everyone nodded. Well, let's all go back to our rooms and rest. Tomorrow is the day of the game. Don't go out to play tonight. After the game is over, the school will give you a few days off. Then you can relax. Chapter 71. The next day, the 47th Joint Entrance Examination of 100 schools has officially begun. This world is facing the danger of alien beasts. The human government needs strong men to fight against the alien beasts. With the strong promotion of the government, events such as the freshman competition have become a grand event that attracts the attention of all mankind. Then, starting a few days ago, the internet, news media, TV stations, all channels began to promote it overwhelmingly. Especially today, the freshman competition has dominated all the news headlines. Countless people are looking forward to the start of the freshman competition. A real eye-catcher. Early morning. Starting at 7 o'clock in the morning, there were a large number of people walking towards the forbidden area of the canyon. Among these people, there are TV reporters, official leaders, internet celebrity anchors who come to live broadcast, celebrities from all walks of life. In short, this is a great event. Attention from all walks of life. When Fang Yi followed the school's instructors and walked into the forbidden area of the canyon, he saw that the audience stage was already full of people. Crowds of people, not to mention the seats, even the aisle next to it was packed to the brim. At least tens of thousands of people were crowded here. If it weren't for the police officers who came to maintain order, there would probably be countless people outside trying to squeeze in. Before the game even started, all kinds of noises started to sound. Countless people are discussing which school can stand out and become this year's champion. The entire forbidden area is like a huge venue, extremely lively at the moment. Which college is this team from? I don't know him either. It's probably not a well-known and good school. Are the people from Wushan Academy here? How? Do you still want to win against the people from Martial Arts Academy? Then just wait and cry. Brother, do you have any inside information? Tell me about it. Haha, several powerful students from Wushan Academy died unexpectedly in the Forbidden Area number 3, so this time, they will definitely not win the championship. Hiss, is there such a thing? Since Wushan College is so unlucky, then this year's champion should be born from Tianjin University and Jingcheng University, right? I spent tens of thousands of dollars on Martial Arts Academy, wouldn't I be in serious trouble this time? Brother, if you still have some money left, hurry up and apply for another school. If you win, at least you won't lose a lot. I hope there will be a dark horse this year. Countless discussions came to Fang Yi's ears. The huge Forbidden Area venue was as noisy as a vegetable market. In addition to the citizens who came to watch the game, almost all of the well-known news media also came. Reporters and anchors with cameras were everywhere, and there were many television cameras overhead. Fang Yi could feel that several of his classmates were a little nervous. There are just too many people. Under the gaze of so many eyes, if you don't perform well, you may die directly, at this time. A woman in formal attire stepped forward and guided Fang Yi and others. For those participating in the competition, please go this way. Yan Tai gave everyone an encouraging look. Go. Come on. Fang Yihei, Su Zicho and others followed the woman to the backstage lounge. In the lounge, there were already many students from other schools. It was 9 o'clock in the morning. The host of the TV station appeared in the center of the venue and said to the camera, "Good morning, all viewers. Welcome everyone to watch the annual 100 Schools Joint Entrance Examination, live broadcast. I am the host Joe Bin. Next, I will broadcast the event live for everyone. You can see that behind me, all the auditoriums are packed, and there are many social celebrities and important leaders. This shows how important this year's 100 School Joint Entrance Examination competition is. The competition time starts at 10 o'clock in the morning. Now is the drawing ceremony of each school team. They will decide the opponents in the first round based on the results of the drawing. The drawing ceremony is fair and impartial, and we will witness the start of the competition under the gaze of 1 billion viewers across the country. Now, please invite the captain of each team to come on stage and draw lots." After the host finished speaking, the entire venue suddenly burst into warm applause. Amidst the huge applause, Su Zicho took a deep breath and followed the captains of other school teams to the high platform to draw lots. The host was doing it beside him. Commentary. He will immediately announce loudly who has drawn whom. After drawing the lots, all the captains returned to the backstage and began to prepare for the game. As soon as Su Zicho came back, he was surrounded by classmates. "Zicho, who did you draw?" A girl couldn't wait to ask. This girl named Zhao Shengnan is Su Zicho's roommate. She has received a purple mission evaluation in the number 2 Forbidden Area before and is one of the outstanding students of Wushan Academy. Su Zicho said, "It's Dongyi Academy." Hearing Su Zicho's words, the students immediately started talking about it. Dongyi Academy, I seem to have heard of it. Is this college strong? I know, this school is not a famous school, but it is much more famous than our Wushan College. It can be regarded as a medium-sized school. Are their students very good? It's hard to say, but it's almost certain that all of their participating representatives have heroic talents. Hearing this, the others' faces became serious. It is recognized that they have heroic talent and are much better than ordinary people. Of course, they may not lose, because they also have 2 trump cards. Fang Yi, with Su Zicho. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. In the center of the venue, the host announced loudly, "The competition has begun, the first round of the first round, between Blue Wing Academy and Fengming Academy." As the host's announcement fell, everyone was in high spirits and looked towards the center of the venue. Looking in midair. Next moment, a magical scene appeared. I saw a holographic reflection of the Canyon of Kings appearing in midair in the center. This is naturally a phenomenon in forbidden areas. Humans have not yet mastered such technology. Next, everyone can see that in the Canyon of Kings, there are two teams appearing in the springs of their respective camps. I believe everyone can see that both teams are ready. The host's voice resounded throughout the forbidden area. Next, let's invite the famous commentator Mr. Zhou Jinghua to explain the game process between the two sides. Lounge. Feng Yi could also see the projection in midair. A look of interest appeared on his face. Although during this period, he also watched many previous game videos on the internet. But seeing it with my own eyes, the feeling is still different. The other students were all staring at the projection. By watching other people's matches, you can collect information about the opponent's players. No one wants to miss it. Next, game start. Both sides adopted conventional tactics, which was to defend two routes and attack one. The participating students from these two schools were of equal strength, and the game was very exciting. After 20 minutes of fighting, Blue Wing Academy finally came out on top, wiping out the opponent in one wave and successfully taking the crystal. Snapped, snapped. The entire venue burst into warm applause. The audience was hooked. In fact, the participating students on both sides have heroic talents. You come and I go back and forth, and the fight is very exciting. This year's contestants from Blue Wing Academy are all amazing. Yes, the special move that the sword wielder used just now seemed to be Atomic Slash. The suitable hero should be one of the Atomic Samurai disciples. If we meet Blue Wing Academy, are there any chances of winning? All we can do is go all out and leave it to fate. Feng Yi could hear that the confidence of the students around him was a little bit shaken after watching the game at Blue Wing Academy. The second game began. This time it was two bunches of rookies pecking each other, which was far from the first. Each game was exciting. Then came the third and fourth games, about an hour later. The host announced loudly again, first round, Game 12, Dongyi Academy vs. Wusheng Academy. Invite players from both sides to come on the stage. Hear the host's announcement. Feng Yi and others walked out of the break. This way please. There was a dedicated receptionist at the door. Under the leadership of the receptionist, Feng Yi, Suicho and others came to a magical door. The door was full of green light, and it was difficult to see what was inside. The receptionist said, "Invite the 5 participants to enter." Hearing this, Feng Yi took the first step and walked into the green light door. Seeing this, the other 4 team members immediately followed. The green light in front of them flashed away. The next moment, Feng Yi found that he had arrived at a place on the stone platform. Directly in front of you is a huge crystal. Obviously, this is the crystal that you need to protect. Seeing that you have arrived in the Canyon of Kings with your own eyes, Feng Yi was filled with emotion. When he was playing with King Pesticide in his previous life, he was a millionaire. Unexpectedly, one day, I would actually be able to fight in real life in the Canyon of Kings. Later, Suicho and others also appeared one by one. These people were all freshmen and had never been to the Canyon of Kings. They couldn't help but look around. He looked down. At this time, a majestic voice resounded throughout the canyon. Please note, the countdown is 10 seconds. Suicho immediately said to everyone, "This time we adopt conservative tactics, defend on 2 sides and attack on the other. Shengnan, you guard the top lane, Feng Yi, you guard the middle lane, and the rest of you, follow me to the bottom lane, and we attack." This is the strategy that Suicho has discussed with everyone a long time ago, originally. Suicho's suggestion was to let Feng take the main attack. It was just rejected by Feng Yi. In the first game, Feng Yi planned to get familiar with the scene in the Canyon of Kings first. He only needs to get 7 heads and destroy the middle by the way. If Suicho really can't stand it anymore, it won't be too late for Feng Yi to take action. 3, 2, 1. As the countdown ended, the green light curtain blocking everyone also disappeared. The game officially began. "Come on, everybody!" Suicho shouted, leading 2 people and running quickly towards the lower road. Her roommate Zhao Shengnan was a very big female man and went to the upper road alone. Feng Yi walked slowly towards the middle road. Go! Outside, everyone who was watching the live broadcast also saw the scattered deployment of the 5 people. The commentator named Zhou Jinghua immediately said loudly, now the two sides have begun to take action, and judging from the positioning of their players, both sides have chosen traditional tactics, 2 on defense and 1 on offense. However, Wusheng Academy chose to attack the lower lane and defend the middle and upper lanes. Dongyi Academy chose to attack the middle and defend the upper and lower lanes. Now it's interesting. Under normal circumstances, when encountering this phenomenon, it depends on which side has a stronger attack path and can defeat the opponent faster. Hearing Zhou Zhenghua's explanation, the spectators who were watching the match between the two sides were also talking about it. Ha ha ha, the strategies of both sides are the same, but the attack paths they choose are different. This is interesting. What's the point? Just because of the Martial Saint Academy, do you still want to compete with Dongyi Academy? Brother, are you afraid you haven't woken up? What happened to Wusheng Academy? It was a low-ranking pheasant university. Almost all the students there were ordinary people. Although Dongyi University was not a famous school, it at least recruited a few people with heroic talents. Yes, in previous years, the Wusheng Academy was eliminated in the first round, and this year will definitely be no exception. I didn't know that Wusheng Academy was so rubbish. Are you right? Didn't I say that this year Wusheng Academy produced 2 talents? He even got the highest mission rating in the forbidden area. Is it fake news? Haha, at first glance, this kind of news is fake news brought out by the unscrupulous media to fool people and attract attention, so you will believe it. Alright, it's a shame that I was looking forward to this game just now. I might as well take a nap to watch the rookies pecking each other. You can't say that. You're here, so take a good look and don't waste your ticket money. Of course, everyone in the King's Canyon doesn't know. Fang Yi looked left and right along the way, seemingly curious about his surroundings. I have to be curious. He had seen the Canyon of Kings countless times on his mobile phone in his previous life, and had long since remembered it. However, it feels really different to see the real scale Kings Canyon with your own eyes. What Fang Yi didn't know was that at this moment, there was a plan against him, slowly approaching, opposite the middle road of Dongyi Academy. The 3 of them were walking quickly. One of them suddenly said, Xiao Li, when we get to the middle lane later, you can think of a way to lure out the people on the opposite middle lane first. Lao Li and I will outflank him from the grass on both sides. As long as he is out of the energy tower cordon range, just kill him first, try to get within the first wave of troops, and capture the first tower. Upon hearing this, the girl named Xiao Li nodded and said, understood. So the 3 of them dispersed. Xiao Li continued to move forward. The other 2 people went around to the wild areas on both sides, passed through the wild areas, and quickly hid in the grass on both sides of the middle route. At this time, Fang Yi had just arrived at the second tower. He saw 3 mechanical soldiers appearing, lining up, and striding forward in a majestic manner. Each mechanical soldier holds a weapon in his hand. The first 2 are holding knives, and the last one is holding a bow and arrow. Fang Yi was standing next to them, and the 3 mechanical soldiers ignored him without even looking at Fang Yi, and walked forward without looking back. It seems that these 3 mechanical soldiers are indeed simple robots that operate according to fixed programs. Looking at the backs of the 3 mechanical soldiers, Fang Yi's curiosity aroused. He walked quickly to the 3rd mechanical soldier and blocked its path, wanting to see what the mechanical soldiers would do. As a result, the mechanical soldier just moved 2 steps to the side, bypassed Fang Yi, and continued to follow the team. Because everything in the Canyon of Kings is broadcast live in real time. Therefore, what Fang Yi did just now was all seen by the viewers watching the live broadcast outside. It seems that the student from Wusheng Academy who is responsible for guarding the middle road has a childish heart. The commentator suppressed a smile and said, of course the commentator also knows about Wusheng Academy. It is just a low-level garbage pheasant university. Every year they come to participate in the competition, they are cannon fodder. However, even so, like this year, there are students who make fun of the mechanical soldiers. This is the first time. After hearing the explanation, the audience burst into laughter. Only a few teachers from Wusheng Academy looked a little ugly. Ha ha ha, this student from Wusheng Academy actually thought of teasing the robot soldiers during the competition. It really made me laugh. This guy probably knew that he was about to lose. So I just broke the jar and threw it away. Wusheng College is indeed a pheasant university, this student is really weird. Across from Dongyi Academy, there are 3 people coming in the middle, right? Let's see how this guy dies. How else to die? It will definitely be killed instantly. Countless people in the audience were talking about. In the Canyon of Kings, Fang Yi finally arrived at the 3rd energy tower in the middle. The mechanical soldiers of both sides have already started fighting in the middle of the line, certainly. The battle of the mechanical soldiers is very rigid. You hit me with a sword, and the power is small, and there is nothing to see. At this time, a female student appeared on the opposite side of the road. She glanced at Fang Yi first, and then concentrated on clearing the troops. She held a long knife in her hand and chopped off a mechanical soldier in a few strokes. In the Canyon of Kings, you can use cold weapons, but not hot weapons. After killing a mechanical soldier, the girl looked at Fang Yi provocatively. Fang Yi suddenly smiled. The other party's acting skills were so poor that he could tell at a glance that something was wrong. Afterwards, Fang Yi walked out. He wanted to see what the other party was up to. And when the female student saw Fang Yi coming out, her eyes suddenly lit up. He probably didn't expect that this student from Wusheng Academy would be fooled so easily. The female student deliberately raised her finger at Fang Yi again, as if she wanted to challenge Fang Yi to a duel. Fang Yi smiled and continued walking towards the other party. Outside world, the voice of the commentator sounded. This contestant from Wusheng Academy is very wary. He has no idea that there is an ambush waiting for him at Dongyi Academy. It seems that the first blood of this game is about to appear. Yeah. The audience also saw Fang Yi's stupid look, and they all complained. What happened to Wusheng Academy this year? Get such a bad student. Yes, although Wusheng Academy was at the bottom in previous years, at least the students who came to compete still had basic qualities. There's nothing you can do if you're not as skilled as others, but you shouldn't be so stupid. I feel like this student might be expelled from Wusheng Academy after he returns. If I were the principal, I wouldn't want students like this. It would bring shame to the school. A pheasant university, or a private school that you can attend if you have money, do you still expect Wusheng Academy to win the championship? Stop talking and watch the game. People from Dongyi Academy are about to take action. Dongyi Academy is really going to take action, now. Fang Yi had already reached the middle of the road, far away from the energy tower's cordon. The girl looked at Fang Yi with a hint of disdain and ridicule. Fang Yi suddenly laughed and said calmly, "You lured me out. Was there someone ambushing you? Now that I'm standing here, why don't you take action?" Hearing this, the girl trembled slightly. Shock. She didn't expect that Fang Yi had already seen through her plan. Unexpectedly, Fang Yi would dare to leave the tower even though he knew someone was ambushing him. Could it be that the other party is already planning to break the pot and give up the vote? Single quote. Just when the girl was confused, a voice suddenly sounded in her earphones. Do it. The next moment, 2 people rushed out of the grass on both sides of the middle road at the same time and rushed towards Fang Yi quickly. Seeing this, the girl didn't have time to think too much. She raised the long knife in her hand and rushed towards Fang Yi. Facing the 3 people, during the siege, Fang Yi remained calm and unhurried. I heard that everyone in the Canyon of Kings can only feel 30% of their usual pain. It will hurt a little later, please bear with it. Throwing these words aside, Fang Yi finally took action. Puff! Burning flames ignited from the palms of his hands. Then, Fang Yi held his fist, pointed it at the girl in front of him, and punched out. Call! A ball of flame suddenly erupted from Fang Yi's fist, attacking the girl like a cannonball. The fire fist was very fast. The girl had no time to dodge. She could only stare with her eyes wide open and witness the flames hitting her body. Boom! There was an explosion. The girl was blown to pieces directly, and she could not die anymore. Instant kill. Of course, the girl would not really die. Her body fell to the ground and disappeared quickly. In just 10 seconds, she can be resurrected in the spring water at the back. The first blood of this game appeared. But it was not Fang Yi from Wusheng Academy who died, but someone from Dongyi Academy. The 2 students who rushed over saw Fang Yi instantly. His teammates fell instantly, and they were all shocked. However, they had rushed to Fang Yi's side at this moment, and they had to shoot. Although they were surprised that there were such masters in Wusheng Academy, they still gritted their teeth. Rush up. Anyway, you will be resurrected if you die. I'm afraid of nothing. The two of them are on the left and the right, forming a pincer attack on each other. They have been rehearsing for a long time and have a tacit understanding. They know what to do with just one look. It's too late to say, hurry up then. A strong man on the left took advantage of Fang Yi's fist to retract, and suddenly pounced on Fang Yi, hugging Fang Yi, trying to use his brute force to restrict Fang Yi's movements. The one on the right, the young man showed the iron claw tied to his right hand and grabbed Fang Yi's forehead with one claw. This was a sure kill move. They were confident that they could kill this student who knew how to play with fire with one strike. Call. The sound of breaking through the air came to Fang Yi's ears. Even so, he still looked calm. The flame power has the characteristics of explosion. Not only does the fire fist explode when it attacks others, Fang Yi can also make it in his hands. The flames could explode at any time. Fang Yi's hands were ignited with flames, and then they were held together. Burst. Fang Yi shouted lowly. Boom. With an explosion, a large amount of fire broke out from Fang Yi's hands, and instantly expanded into a ball of fire, engulfing all three people. When the fire dissipated, only Fang Yi was left unharmed. The remaining two, a student from Dongyi Academy, was lying quietly on the ground, his whole body charred. 3 kills. Now Fang Yi's spiritual attribute is close to 400. After half a month of training, it has increased a bit. Such mental attributes can definitely dwarf all the new students. Even the geniuses from Martial Arts Academy may not have as high a mental attribute as Fang Yi's when all attributes are added together. With such mental attributes, the destructive power of the flames exploded is astonishing. It's definitely not something these freshmen can resist. Kong Feng Ye deliberately ambush, to counterattack and kill the enemy. Or a wave of 3 kills. It sounds slow, but in fact, the whole process happened in a few seconds. It's overwhelmingly fast. All enemies, they were all killed instantly with one move. Now Fang Yi's spiritual attribute is close to 400. After half a month of training, it has increased a bit. Such mental attributes can definitely dwarf all the new students. Even the geniuses from Martial Arts Academy may not have as high a mental attribute as Fang Yi's when all attributes are added together. With such mental attributes, the destructive power of the flames exploded is astonishing. It's definitely not something these freshmen can resist. Just as the 2 charred corpses on the ground slowly disappeared and were resurrected by the spring water, Suicho's voice came from Fang Yi's earphones. Sheng Nan, Fang Yi, the opponent's main team is not on my side, you should be careful. Suicho reminded him at this time, but it was a step too late. Fang Yi smiled faintly and said nothing. At this time, a rich announcement sounded in the Canyon of Kings. Contestant, Fang Yi, single killed contestant, Han Li. Contestant, Fang Yi, double killed contestant, Lu Zhengqi. Contestant, Fang Yi, killed contestant, Li Mingliang, 3 times. The sound of the announcement was very loud. Not only can everyone in the Canyon of Kings hear it, but all outside viewers, as well as countless viewers in front of TV sets across the country, can hear it clearly. Suicho, who had just been reminded, was stunned. Zhao Shengnan, who was on the road, was also stunned. Everyone else was stunned, the outside world. Both the commentators and the audience were stunned. Suicho and others were fine. At least they know that Feng Ye is not simple. The spectators outside were really shocked. They never expected that things would take such a big turn. Feng Yi, who clearly looked certain to die, in the blink of an eye. I got the first blood and 3 kill achievements. It's so unbelievable. What just happened? Is this a counterattack, or counter kill 3? It's so shocking. I didn't expect such a surprise at all. It was indeed a surprise. No one expected that this student from Wusheng Academy could actually have the power of fire. That student from Martial Saint Academy is too fierce, right? 3 people ambushed him, and not only killed him directly, but they were all instant kills. Really fierce. Such a fierce attack power is considered a genius even in the Martial God Academy. What I'm curious about isn't Wusheng College Pheasant University? Why is this student with the talent for fire still staying at Wusheng Academy? By the way, which hero's talent is this fire ability inherited from? Why don't I remember that there are heroes who can use fire? I never expected such a reversal, I never expected it. Listen to the report just now, this student is called Fang Yi, right? I remember him. Maybe it's this year's dark horse. Handsome. The scene just now was definitely the most classic counterattack. I have a video of it later and I want to save it forever. Awesome. This year's Wusheng Academy is going to be very popular. What about the people who just looked down on the Martial Saint Academy? Why didn't you say anything? Stop asking, my face hurts. Ha ha ha, good job Fang Yi, I knew this guy was easily fooled and must be holding back his bad intentions. Yan Tai laughed. The dean sighed. Now I understand why the principal wanted to keep Fang Yi despite offering such good conditions. This kid is really awesome. Another teacher said. It's awesome, but his behavior of deliberately falling into a trap is still a bit risky. Since Fang Yi is so powerful, why not let him be the main attacker? Another teacher asked. Yan Tai said. This is a tactic they formulated themselves. Maybe it is used to confuse their opponents. No matter what, with Fang Yi here, our Wusheng Academy will definitely be in a good place this year. Concluded the teaching director. There are actually such students in Wusheng Academy. With his ability, it's more than enough to go to Martial Arts Academy, right? Leader, you don't know something. This student named Fang Yi is AC level hero. As for his fire talent, he got it in the forbidden area no. 2. Oh, is he the student who got the highest task evaluation? Leader, you have a very good memory. He is right. Almost everyone in the audience was talking about Fang Yi. It was Fang Yi's performance just now that amazed everyone, even more astonishing. No one expected it. In a low-class pheasant university, there is such a strong new student. Until now, only then did the commentator react and said loudly and excitedly, it's really surprising. Fang Yi, a contestant from Wusheng Academy, actually killed 3 of his opponents in an ambush. Unexpectedly, there is such a real dragon hidden in the Holy Academy. I am looking forward to the next game more and more. This is the first contestant to get 3 kills since the start of the competition. Fang Yi also gave us the most exciting battle so far. Let us give applause to Fang Yi, okay. Hearing this, the whole venue burst into warm applause. In the Canyon of Kings. Fang Yi, what happened just now? Have you met their main team? Suicho's voice sounded. Fang Yi said truthfully. The 3 of them squatted on me, they should be their main force, right? Hearing Fang Yi's words, the other team members gasped. 3 people squatted down and you still got killed. Just be a human being. Need support? Suicho asked again. Need not. Fang Yi said, I can protect myself here. You just have to follow the plan. Suicho stopped insisting. She knew how powerful Fang Yi was. Since Fang Yi said he didn't need support, he definitely didn't need it. Okay, let me make progress faster. Lu Qiangsheng, Zheng Bing, you accompany me to the wild area to fight Red. Suicho gave the order. The red buff monster can increase the attack power with a time limit. Suicho obviously wants to attack the bottom lane to relieve Fang Yi a little pressure. Just when Fang Yi was preparing to win the game in one go, the Dongyi Academy opposite was already in a quarrel. What's going on with you 3? A team member from Dongyi Academy couldn't help but said on the communication channel, it's only been less than a minute since the game started, and you gave the opponent a triple kill. Lu Zhengqi, who had just died, was resurrected and said, you can't blame me. Little did I know that a mere pheasant university could have such powerful freshmen. The other dead Li Mingliang also followed up and said, that's right, the damage of that boy's fire power is too high. With that kid here, we might be in big trouble in this game. No matter how big the trouble is, we have to find a way to get through it. If we are eliminated in the first round, do you still have the nerve to go back? The instructor will not let us go either. That's true, but it's really hard to handle now. Our tactics need to change. That's right, since this kid is so powerful, the main attack route cannot be placed in the middle. Choose the top or bottom lane. When Han Li, who had just died, heard this, she immediately asked, what should I do? Captain Lu Zhengqi said, Xiao Li, I can only leave you in the middle. Don't confront that kid head on, just hide under the tower and drag him away if you can. That's easy for you to say. Han Li shouted, that guy can kill me with one move, how do you want me to delay him? If you can't hold off, you have to hold off. If it really doesn't work, you can give up the first 2 towers. Just keep the Highland Tower. I won't do it. But Han Li disagreed. When I died just now, it hurt me to death. I want to change the line. Who wants to drag myself here? I don't want to be killed again. At this time, all the participating team members of Dongyi Academy received the information that the middle tower was under attack, which immediately shocked these people. Oops, this guy is attacking the middle tower. Stop dawdling and get out of here quickly. Don't let people push the tower directly. Shaoli, I beg you, brother, please feel aggrieved for this competition. When the competition is over, I will buy you a brand name bag. How about it? Captain, then you keep your word. Finally, Han Li was taken care of in the middle. The defenders in the bottom lane suddenly shouted again. No, the opponent's main force is attacking the bottom lane. The 3 of them. The girl on the opposite side's archery is so fierce, it hurts. It's so high. Please help me, I can't hold it anymore. At this time, Fang Yi is attacking the energy tower in the middle. He had just cleared away the mechanical soldiers on the opposite side, and his own mechanical soldiers ran under the energy tower, and the energy tower also changed from defense mode to attack mode. The energy tower's attack damage is indeed very high. An ordinary mechanical soldier can only survive for 5 seconds before being destroyed. Fang Yi tried to attack with Fire Fist, but found that his Fire Fist could only knock out 1/7 of the health of the energy tower. The health bar can be seen in the energy tower. He needs 7 punches to destroy an energy tower. You know, with Fang Yi's current mental attributes, one move, Fire Fist, is astonishingly powerful, no worse than a real individual missile. Otherwise, the enemy would not have been killed just now. The energy tower can have such defensive power, which is already very powerful. With the death of the 2 mechanical soldiers, Fang Yi also stopped attacking the energy tower. At this time, the first energy tower in the enemy's middle lane had already lost more than half of its health by Fang Yi. It didn't take long. The second wave of troops appeared and met in the middle. Fang Yi began to clear the line of troops. His flame damage is high and he can kill a mechanical soldier in almost one move. Later, Fang Yi discovered that there was a girl under the energy tower opposite. She was poking around, wanting to come over to clear the enemy line, but she seemed afraid to leave the tower. This girl was naturally the girl who had just given first blood to Fang Yi. Fang Yi smiled and ignored her when he saw the other party hiding behind the energy tower. Soon, he just cleared out 3 mechanical soldiers. Our own mechanical soldiers, having lost their enemy, walked quickly towards the energy tower. Fang Yi followed behind, and when the energy tower began to attack the mechanical soldiers, he immediately launched an attack on the energy tower. At this time, Fang Yi himself also stood on the cordon of the energy tower. This is the rule in the Canyon of Kings. You must stand in the cordon of the energy tower for attacking the energy tower to be effective. Seeing Fang Yi attacking the energy tower, Han Li finally couldn't help it anymore. If she didn't stop him, the first energy tower would be destroyed. Thinking of this, Han Li rushed out. However, the target of Han Li's attack was not Fang Yi, but 3 mechanical soldiers. Han Li is also a smart person and knows that the military line is the trouble. As long as the military line is gone, Fang Yi will be defeated by the energy tower. Seeing Han Li slashing at the mechanical soldier with her hand, Fang Yi smiled faintly. Do you really think he wouldn't dare to attack anyone under the tower? He had already tried it just now and was attacked by an energy tower. Really? The energy tower does a lot of damage. However, it is still not easy to break his current defense. In other words, the energy tower does not pose a great threat to the opponent's karma. Fang Yi can definitely jump over the tower and kill people, and then walk out calmly. Call. A huge fireball flew out from Fang Yi's fist and directly attacked Han Li, who was clearing the troops. Ah! Han Li only had time to let out a scream, receive the lunchbox, and was blown to pieces. The energy tower immediately launched an attack on Fang Yi. Fang Yi resisted the attack of the energy tower, and then quickly jumped out of the energy tower. Warning line. Although he is not afraid of the attack of the energy tower, he still has to show off. After all, he is live broadcasting now. If he has been standing under the tower and was beaten by the energy tower but did not die, wouldn't it make people doubt his physique? Flame, the damage is already so high. If the physique is still astonishingly high, it will definitely arouse others' suspicion. It is impossible for someone who has only experienced 2 trips to the Forbidden Land to have so many attributes. Contestant, Fang Yi. Single-killed contestant, Han Li. The voice of the broadcast resounded throughout the Canyon of Kings again. In terms of Fang Yi's record, he also got 4 kills. As long as you get 3 more, the basic super achievement of this game will be completed. Contestant, Fang Yi, destroyed the energy tower in the middle. Along with the huge announcement, the whole stadium heard the sound. A tower is gone so soon. Lu Zhengqi, the captain of Dongyi Academy, said loudly, Xiao Li, what are you doing? What to do? I've been dropped by him in seconds, okay. The team member named Han Li said with full of grievance, that guy's damage is frighteningly high. Even under the tower, the defense of the items is increased, but he still drops them instantly with one move. I told you, you couldn't hold him back and you just didn't listen. Now that the tower is gone, you still blame me. Woo woo woo. After talking about it, Han Li started crying in a grieved manner. Several team members all had headaches from Han Li's crying. The captain said quickly, okay, Xiao Li, don't cry now, 2 bags. When the game is over, regardless of the result, win or lose, I will buy you 2 bags. Now, stop crying. Upon hearing the 2 bags, Han Li immediately stopped crying and remained silent. Captain, you still have a way. Some team members laughed. Captain Lu Zhengqi said speechlessly, do you still have the heart to laugh? You can switch lines with Xiao Li later. Let her hit the road. Well, Captain, isn't this bad? My strength is the weakest among you. Even the weakest one has to go up, otherwise would the middle lane be necessary? Isn't your slingshot very powerful? Just hide behind the tower and use your slingshot to clear the line of troops. I don't ask you to hold that kid back, as long as you don't let him invade the middle too quickly, go ahead. All right, outside world, it seems that Dongyi Academy is in big trouble. The voice of the commentator sounded. In the middle lane on both sides, Wusheng Academy has completely gained the upper hand and is showing a crushing attitude. If Dongyi Academy doesn't think of a way, the middle lane will encounter a huge crisis. You don't even need a commentator to remind you. Audiences watching the live broadcast, even a fool can see that Dongyi's middle lane is about to die. I lost it. This student in the middle of Wusheng Academy is so fierce, he can kill people immediately under the tower. Yes, the damage was so high that I even doubted whether this guy was a new student. Are you a fool? If I'm not a freshman, can I come here to compete? You can't get in through that door alone. I feel like Dongyi Academy is going to lose. We are definitely going to lose, and the bottom lane is about to be destroyed. It depends on whether Dongyi Academy can think of better tactics next. Haha, with such a big gap in strength, it's useless no matter how good your tactics are. In fact, the real difference in strength is the mid laner from Wusheng Academy. Everyone else is fine. The shooter in the bottom lane of Wusheng Academy is also pretty good. The archery skills are superb and the damage is high. The audience is talking a lot. Although the game has only started for a few minutes, everyone can see that the situation here at Dongyi Academy is not good. In the canyon, Fang Yi has arrived at the foot of the second energy tower. At this time, he saw a person appear on the opposite side. But she is not the girl before, but a young man. This young man was also sneaky, hiding behind the energy tower and only occasionally peeking at Fang Yi. Fang Yi's sharp eyes saw the slingshot in the young man's hand. Slingshot. Fang Yi was confused. He didn't remember that there was a hero who used a slingshot in One Punch Man. Of course, although Fang Yi knows the plot, he doesn't know all the heroes in One Punch Man. It can even be said that Fang Yi only knows a few of the heroes in One Punch Man. He knows all the S-level heroes, and also knows a few A-level heroes. When it comes to B-level, he only knows Hell Fubuki. He doesn't know whether this young man inherited the hero's talent or developed the slingshot attack method by himself. Soon, the military line appeared. Fang Yi stood at the edge of the opponent's energy tower and began to clean up the mechanical soldiers. After clearing the military line, Fang Yi suddenly turned around and left the position of the middle tower. What he did, not only does it confuse the opponent, It also makes it difficult for outside audiences to understand. What does this guy in the middle of Wusheng Academy want to do? Why don't you push it through in one go? The middle lane on the Dongyi Academy side should be unstoppable, right? Who knows what this guy is thinking? Man, this is a game. So willful. Look at the bottom lane, the main forces of both sides are starting to work. I don't look at the bottom lane, it's just noobs pecking each other, what's so interesting about it? I just look at this great guy in the middle. Yes, this guy always surprises me. I want to see what this guy is going to do. Countless spectators are talking about it. At this time, Fang Yi, after his performance just now, has attracted the attention of most of the spectators and has become the focus of the competition. His every move will attract the attention of the spectators. The commentator also saw Fang Yi's actions, but he couldn't tell what Fang Yi wanted to do by giving up a great advantage. So, he could only say, it seems that the middle road of Wusheng Academy is different again. There is a new plan. Everyone, look at the bottom lane. The main players on both sides are about to start a 3v3 battle. In the canyon, Fang Yi went directly to the opposite jungle area and saw the red buff. In fact, he didn't have any advanced plans. His purpose is to explore and become familiar with this canyon. As a former King Pesticide player, Fang Yi has special emotions for this canyon that ordinary people cannot understand. The mysterious Forbidden Land almost completely restores the Canyon of Kings. So, of course he wanted to explore it. This is only the first round, and the opponent is relatively weak. Later, when he encounters a strong opponent, Fang Yi can't be so willful. Red Buff is a ferocious monster with bright red color and eyes like fire. This monster looks very scary and intimidating. But Fang Yi is not worried. Since Suicho was able to kill the Red Buff with the cooperation of his team members before, Fang Yi can naturally do the same. At this time, the Red Buff also noticed Fang Yi and roared at Fang Yi, seeming to threaten Fang Yi not to come near. Fang Yi smiled slightly, raised his fist, and launched a fire fist move. The surging flame shells directly attack the Red Buff. Boom! The fire exploded, forming a sea of fire on the Red Buff. The health bar on the head of the Red Buff instantly lost a large amount, leaving less than 1/5. Fang Yi was a little surprised. This Red Buff is a bloody savage. It was so thick that it could withstand his fire punch. Then, Fang Yi walked over and lightly added another punch, successfully harvesting the Red Buff's life. The moment the Red Buff fell, there was a red light, it fell on Fang Yi. Suddenly, Fang Yi felt that his body seemed to be filled with a mysterious power. Is this the increase brought by the Red Buff? So strong. Fang Yi was secretly shocked. He guessed that the increase in Red Buff should not be fixed, but increase based on the percentage of one's own strength. The stronger the strength, the greater the increase. For someone like Fang Yi, the increase is terrifying. After killing the Red Buff, he could vaguely see a huge shadow outline in front of Fang Yi. The person in that position must be a tyrant, right? Single quote. Fang Yi's eyes flashed and he walked towards the tyrant. Outside world, seeing Fang Yi's actions, all the audience were talking. One move almost eliminated the Red Buff, the damage was simply explosive. No wonder, those people from Dongyi Academy who besieged him just now were instantly killed. The damage was too high. Do freshmen have such high damage? Isn't that outrageous? Haha, you may not know who this new student is. His name is Fang Yi, and he is the first person in history to receive the highest mission evaluation, twice. If he adds all attributes to his spirit, it is possible to have such high damage. It seems that I have heard rumors about this person on the internet before. It makes sense if it's him. Look, this guy seems to be heading towards the tyrant. Let me go, this guy isn't going to challenge the tyrant, is he? Challenge a tyrant, haha, let's see how he dies. Tyrant, it is almost the most powerful monster in the Canyon of Kings. Only the Shadow Master, Baron, can compare with it. Under normal circumstances, if you want to kill the Dark Tyrant, at least all members of the team must come together. Someone needs to be responsible for the damage, and someone must be responsible for the output. This is still a great team. Like some rubbish college teams, even if they go there they will be wiped out by the group. It is almost impossible for one person to challenge the Dark Tyrant alone. So, Seeing Fang Yi walking towards the Dark Tyrant alone, the audience did not expect Fang Yi to succeed. Even the commentator said, "The middle laner from Wusheng Academy, after getting the red buff, looks like he wants to challenge the tyrant." To challenge the tyrant alone, I can only say that this classmate is too confident. Although he was injured, it's very high, but if you want to deal with the tyrant, damage alone is not enough. In the audience, several teachers from Wusheng Academy were also frowning at this moment. What the hell is this Fang Yi doing? Why did he choose this time to challenge the tyrant? Too confident. Hearing the voices from the teachers around him, Yantai frowned and looked a little ugly. He couldn't understand Fang Yi's operation. According to Fang Yi's strength, there was no need to use the tyrant's increase, he could do it directly. Pushing it from the middle will put huge pressure on Dongyi Academy. When the time comes, and cooperate with Suicho's side, a two-pronged approach, Dongyi Academy will soon lose. No one knows. Fang Yi went to find the tyrant not for a challenge, but for his past feelings. When he was playing King Pesticide on his mobile phone in his previous life, he had countless scuffles in order to grab the tyrant. Therefore, he was very curious about the real tyrant. In this game, Fang Yi's main goal is to become familiar with everything here. He won't start getting serious until the next game. If everyone knew what Fang Yi was thinking, he might have to vomit blood. Finally, Fang Yi came to the river in the middle of the canyon. There is water in the river, which is very shallow, reaching about Fang Yi's ankles. The water is very clean and crystal clear. Fang Yi stepped into the water, and after a few steps, he came to the tyrant. Like the tyrant in King of Pesticides, the tyrant in front of him also looks like a four-legged dragon. It's huge and very scary. Standing in front of the Dark Tyrant, you can feel a kind of intimidation. At this time, the Dark Tyrant lay in his nest with his eyes closed, seemingly sleeping. Fang Yi didn't think much, and without saying a word, he gave the opponent a fire fist, very rudely. Boom! Huge flames exploded from the Dark Tyrant's body. The blood bar on the Dark Tyrant's head instantly lost 1/10. And Fang Yi's attack finally woke up this sleeping giant. Roar! The Dark Tyrant woke up and let out a deafening roar. Then, its pair of vertical pupils quickly locked on Fang Yi. It was the tiny human in front of it that disturbed its sleep. The Dark Tyrant said nothing and directly it rushed towards Fang Yi, then raised its front paw and swept it towards Fang Yi. This big guy was very fast. In the river, only the shadow of its claws could be seen. But Fang Yi was faster. Only seeing him squat down quickly, he easily dodged the Dark Tyrant's attack. Call! A whirlwind blew over Fang Yi's head. From this, we can see the horror of the Dark Tyrant's attack just now. Fang Yi's face was calm, and he was thinking silently in his heart. The Dark Tyrant is indeed the strongest creature in the canyon. With such an attack power, those with a constitution below 100 may not be able to withstand it. No wonder Yan Tai said that during the competition, few people paid attention to the Dark Tyrant. Can't beat it. Of course, I can beat this thing with a serious punch, but it's not necessary. We've almost finished our visit to the canyon, and it's time to end this game. At this time, seeing that the Dark Tyrant's sweeping blow missed Fang Yi, his huge body suddenly jumped up, and then fell heavily. Boom! The entire river was shaken. And Fang Yi was also blown up by the force of the counter shock from the ground. Unexpectedly, this guy is the same as the one in King Pesticide, and has this trick. Single quote. Fang Yi was a little surprised. After the Dark Tyrant knocked Fang Yi flying, he waved his claw again and swept towards Fang Yi. Although Fang Yi is very confident in his physique and is not afraid of the claws of the Dark Tyrant, there is no need for him to take it hard. Puff! Fang Yi, who was in midair, suddenly burst out a large amount of flames from his hands. Then, Fang Yi pushed all the huge flames towards the face of the Dark Tyrant. Seeing the flames all over the sky, the Dark Tyrant was startled. He quickly stopped attacking Fang Yi and retreated directly. Fang Yi took this opportunity to quickly distance himself from the Dark Tyrant and retreated into the darkness. Sure enough, as I suspected, the monsters in the wild area in the canyon have a certain degree of intelligence and know how to avoid player attacks. Fang Yi took one last look at the Dark Tyrant, turned around and left the river. When the flames disappeared, the Dark Tyrant could not find Fang Yi, and he suddenly let out an unwilling roar. Roar! The roar was like thunder, and it almost spread throughout the entire canyon. However, the dark tyrant obediently returned to his nest, then lay down and prepared to continue sleeping. Although it has certain wisdom, it cannot leave its nest too far. And the settings in King Pesticide are the same. Outside world. Although the fight between Fang Yi and the dark tyrant was only 2 short moves. But it still makes countless viewers hooked. I lost it. This kid is really awesome, he actually ran away. After watching the game for so long, this is the first time I have seen someone survive the attack of the dark tyrant. That was a handsome move just now. Guy the first like it. Is your brain sick? Why do you still want to provoke the dark tyrant when you know you are no match? I don't understand this operation either. I can only say that if you have strength, you will be willful. Fang Yi has returned to the middle road. Next, he was already planning to end the game. As Fang Yi became serious, the young man playing with a slingshot in the middle was quickly killed by Fang Yi over the tower, and the second tower was also quickly destroyed by Fang Yi. At this time, Fang Yi already had 5 kills on his record. Then, he gained momentum and took down the Highland Tower in the middle. Seeing that Fang Yi was about to threaten the crystal at home, the Dongyi Academy on the other side finally panicked and all the members immediately went home to defend themselves. In the audience, seeing that Fang Yi finally took the competition seriously, and was so unstoppable that he directly broke through the high ground, most of the audience also followed suit with serious expressions. The new middle laner from Wusheng Academy finally took the game seriously. He was indeed a powerful player, and he even pushed 2 towers in a row. The commentator loudly said, "Now Dongyi Academy is in trouble. Next is a key team battle that determines the outcome of both sides. If other members of Wusheng Academy provide timely support, Dongyi Academy may lose." The audience can no longer hear what the commentator is saying at this moment. They are all watching carefully, not wanting to miss any scenes. Several teachers and leaders from Wusheng Academy are also watching carefully. Especially Wong Leang, staring intently. Fang Yi in the reflection frowned. "Principal, what I said before is this kid. You have seen his performance. With his strength, if a trap is set, it is still very possible to kill Zhao Fusheng and the others, and it was in the forbidden area no. 3. Here, like Zhao Fusheng, he takes on zombie killing missions, and even the plan is the same." Wong Leang gritted his teeth and said to a middle-aged man next to him. Although he kept his job this time, he also paid a huge price and was even given a serious demerit by the school. If there is even the slightest mistake again, what awaits Wong Leang? I'm afraid it's not as simple as losing his job. Therefore, Wong Leang hated Fang Yi, the object of suspicion. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that it was Fang Yi and that woman who killed Zhao Fusheng and the others. Because, only Wong Leang knew, in addition to the plan to kill zombies, Zhao Fusheng and others also took over a task from him, which will inevitably conflict with Fang Yi. The middle-aged man next to Wong Leang is the vice principal of Wusheng College. After hearing this, the vice president the principal's face was serious and he looked at Fang Yi seriously, but he didn't say anything. As a leader, of course he would not make casual comments. In the backstage lounge, countless students are also watching this game. At this time, these students all looked serious. Fang Yi's performance made them wary. I really didn't expect that there is such a master in a small pheasant university. The person who spoke was a girl in the lounge of Beijing University. A boy answered the conversation and said in a disdainful tone, "He's just a lucky boy who got some strength by luck." Lucky. Another boy sneered. "How lucky are you to get 2 of the highest task ratings? Zhou Yan, are you lucky enough to show me one?" The boy named Zhou Yan's face suddenly darkened. "Wang Wei, what do you mean?" "It doesn't mean anything, I just want you not to underestimate anyone." "Okay, you two shut up." The girl from before spoke again. Although the 2 boys were still a little dissatisfied, they still shut up. It can be seen that this girl has the highest status among them and is convinced by everyone. "Captain, I heard from others that there were 2 seed students in the Martial God Academy in the Forbidden Area No. 3. It is very possible that they fell into the hands of this person." "Oh, it seems that this guy will be our strong enemy," Zhou Yan said. "Captain, are you being serious? I admit that this guy has 2 skills, but his teammates are all things that can't be held up by mud. Only the archer is worth mentioning." This is a team battle. Just one or two people can't make a difference. Hearing this, the girl looked at Zhou Yan with a smile but not a smile, and said, okay, if we encounter Wusheng Academy later, the middle road will be left to you. Zhou Yan's face twitched, but he still showed off his strength and said, okay, leave this kid to me. Similar conversations among other students also appearing. Facing Dongyi College, Fang Yi's strong performance made these students really take it seriously. In the canyon, when Fang Yi pushed down the Highland Tower in the middle road, Dongyi Academy immediately felt like it was facing a formidable enemy. The middle lane is almost unbearable. Everyone, go home immediately and defend the crystal. Lu Zhengqi ordered loudly. Those teammates also knew that the situation was urgent and went home one after another. As soon as they retreated, Wusheng Academy would be able to see them. However, Suicho did not take this opportunity to push down the tower. Fang Yedu she pushed to the high ground in the middle. Why is she still pushing the tower with all her strength? Is she out of her mind? Everyone on the opposite side has gone home, and everyone immediately heads to the middle road to support Fang Yi. Suicho also issued the order. After hearing the words, the others gathered in the middle. Everyone agreed with Suicho's order. In fact, they did not expect that Fang Yi was so powerful that he almost defeated the opponent by himself. As for Fang Yi himself, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether he comes to support or not. He already has 6 heads in his current record. He gave it away again when he was guarding the high ground in the middle of the opposite lane. As long as he gets one more head, he will be defeated. It didn't affect him getting the Super God achievement. Soon, the troops from both sides gathered and formed a formation on the high ground. Don't go out, the crystal has high attack power, let's fight close to the crystal. Lu Zhengqi, the captain on the opposite side, encouraged, as long as we beat them once, we will still have a chance to make a comeback. At Wusheng Academy, Suicho is also boosting morale. It's the last wave, don't let your guard down. As long as we win this wave, we will win this game. Shengnan, Lu Qiangsheng, and Zheng Bing, when the army line comes, you 3, go up immediately and don't let the opponent have a chance to clear the army line. Fang Yi, you are responsible for dealing with the enemy, and I am responsible for attacking the crystal. Everyone had no objections to Suicho's tactics and applauded loudly. This is also the most suitable tactic for everyone. Fang Yi smiled and glanced at Suicho with some appreciation in his eyes. Although the tactics were simple, they made everyone's the advantages were fully utilized. For Suicho, who was playing the game for the first time, such a performance was already very good. After a while, the mechanical soldiers finally appeared. Superior, Suicho immediately said loudly. After hearing the words, everyone rushed towards the crystal. Zhao Shengnan rushed the fastest. Although this girl is strong, she is actually very afraid of death. All the attribute points obtained in the forbidden areas number 2 and number 3 are increased. In terms of physique, she is the roughest and thickest among the people. Of course, she can't compare with Fang Yi. At this moment, she took the lead and rushed into the crystal's cordon range, resisting the crystal's attack. On the other side, there were also early just stand ready and attack immediately when you see the enemy coming. Hold on, clear the troop line first. Fight towards the mechanical soldiers. Lu Zhengqi shouted. A battle started immediately. Fang Yi also followed suit. Call, call, the sounds of breaking through the air were heard one after another. That was Fang Yi's Fire Fist attack. Basically, it was a one-hit move for a kid. Actually, as long as you are discerning, everybody can see it. Dongyi Academy's defeat has been determined for a long time. As expected. In the final wave of decisive battles, with Fang Yi's action, Dongyi Academy collapsed at a very fast speed. Contestant, Fang Yi, single-killed contestant, Han Li. Contestant, Fang Yi, double-killed contestant, Lu Zhengqi. Contestant, Fang Yi, killed contestant, Li Mingliang, 3 times. Contestant, Fang Yi, killed contestant, Shen Lian, 4 times. Contestant, Fang Yi, killed contestant, Li Wei, 5 times. The last wave, Fang Yi immediately scored 5 kills. His damage is really too high. Coupled with the red buff increase, the Fire Fist's damage has reached a very terrifying level, basically anyone who touches it will die. The 5 Dongyi team members on the opposite side were all killed by his fire fist. On Fang Yi's side, only one Zhao Shengnan died, still resisting the tower and resisting death. As the 5 people on the opposite side died tragically, the crystal was left unprotected and was quickly destroyed by the Wusheng Academy. Boom! With an explosion, the crystal cracked, which also meant that Wusheng Academy had won. Congratulations to Wusheng Academy, won the game and successfully advanced to the next round. Outside, the host announced the result of the game loudly. All the audience also spontaneously applauded. The whole audience burst into warm applause. It's not that the game just now was so exciting, as long as it was too unexpected. Originally, the audience all believed that Wusheng College would definitely lose against Dongyi College. After all, Dongyi College is still a second-rate university and has a name. And what about Wusheng College? Pheasant University. You can get into it if you pay money. In previous years, the freshmen of the university, they were all at the bottom. Unexpectedly, the result of this competition was that Wusheng Academy counterattacked and overthrew Dongyi Academy. 1. I really didn't expect that Martial Saint Academy actually won. The victory of Wusheng Academy in this game depends entirely on the middle. That's right, if the middle laner wasn't too strong, we would still have to fight. If you look at the results of both sides, Wusheng Academy got a total of 10 kills. In the middle alone, one person got 9 kills. It's really amazing. In fact, the shooter girl is not bad, and her strength is not weak, but her light is overshadowed by the slut in the middle. Wusheng Academy found this new student from nowhere. It's really a treasure. I am now looking forward to how far Wusheng Academy can go in this competition. If I had known earlier, I should have bought the one won by Martial Saint Academy in the first game, paying 5 for 1. What a big loss. The entrance to the canyon. All 5 members of the Martial Saint Academy have been teleported back. Hearing the applause outside, Zhao Shengnan and others couldn't help but cheer. We won. We really won. It is not easy for them to win a game. Suicho looked at her teammates with a smile and did not stop their cheers. Then, she looked at Fang Yi. Suicho knew that they could win this game. It all depends on this man. At this time, the 3 people who were cheering suddenly stopped. They looked at Fang Yi and Suicho, and suddenly they had a tacit understanding and bowed to the 3 people. Thank you, Captain. Thank you, Fang Yi. If it weren't for you, we would definitely not have won this game. Yes, the main credit belongs to you, and we all take advantage of it. I heard that our Wusheng Academy has never won a freshman competition. Thank you both for allowing us to win this honor. Hearing this, Suicho quickly said, "What are you doing? We are a team, why should we be divided between you and me?" Fang Yi also followed. Put this one away first. When we win the national championship, it won't be too late to do this again. I won't stop you then. Hearing Fang Yi's words, several people were a little surprised. They never expected that Fang Yi's ambition was so big, and his goal was to be the national champion. This is something they couldn't even imagine. Okay, don't stand here anymore, let's go back and talk about it. Suicho said. Everyone nodded and walked to the lounge together. Walking on the road, Suicho quietly came to Fang Yi and asked in a low voice, "National champion? Are you serious? What do you think?" Fang Yi also responded in a low voice. Suicho thought for a while and said with a smile, "I definitely think others are bragging, but if you say it, I think it is somewhat possible. How about handing over the command to you next?" Fang Yi shook his head. "No need for the time being. When I really meet an opponent, I will take over your command." Okay, Suicho agreed wholeheartedly. She didn't care at all about Fang Yi's seizing power. Ding dong. While the two were talking, Fang Yi's cell phone received a message. He opened it and saw that it was from Yan Tai. "Well done, keep up the good work." Fang Yi was very calm and did not reply. "Who sent you the message?" Suicho asked curiously. "It's Lao Yan," Fang Yi replied. As soon as he finished speaking, Fang Yi's cell phone rang again, and another message came in. This time it was an unfamiliar number. "Brother Fang Yi, you are so handsome just now, keep up the good work." This tone made it look like she was a girl. Suicho was next to Fang Yi at the moment and happened to see this text message. Snort. She snorted coldly and walked forward quickly to follow her teammates. Fang Yi was very confused. He didn't know who this strange number was at all. Looking at the look of this girl Suicho, she was obviously jealous. Fang Yi he smiled and followed. When they returned to the lounge, their teammates found that their captain looked a little unhappy and looked unhappy. This made everyone a little confused. What happened? He was fine just now. Why, suddenly unhappy? The team members felt a little baffled, but they didn't dare to ask Suicho. After this game, Suicho's prestige was established. Except for Fang Yi, others didn't dare to treat Suicho normally. Even his roommate Zhao Shengnan was like this. Seeing Suicho's sulky look, Fang Yi felt that he should explain it to this girl. Otherwise, it would not be good to play with a bad temper in the next game. He is very natural. When he came to Suicho, he directly handed over his mobile phone. What? Suicho was stunned. Fang Yi shrugged and said, "There are some strange text messages that I don't know how to reply to. Please help me reply." Suicho knew what Fang Yi meant, and couldn't help but roll her eyes at Fang Yi, but in her heart, she was very happy. The face that had been straight just now finally showed a smile again. Seeing Fang Yi, he had to sigh. This woman's face changed. As expected, it was as fast as flipping through a book. At the same time, Fang Yi was also very surprised. Who was the person who sent him such a text message? This is a national freshman competition. There are a total of 160 participating colleges and universities. 4 p.m. When the first round of competition ended, half of the schools were eliminated. The remaining half will naturally advance successfully. Wusheng Academy, also on the promoted list. This is the end of the first day of competition. The second round of promotion competition will begin tomorrow. That night, everyone returned to the hotel. Several teachers and leaders from Wusheng Academy seemed particularly happy. They pulled Fang Yi and others along and praised them for a long time. It's okay not to be happy. In previous years, Wusheng Academy has always been eliminated in the first round and has never persisted past the second round. This year is the first of its kind. Those of them who are teachers also benefit from it. When they return to school, the school governor will definitely reward them. In the happy mood, several teachers couldn't help but drink a few more drinks tonight, and they were all drunk. Fortunately, Fang Yi and the others still have a game tomorrow, otherwise. The teacher also wanted to drag them to drink together, and return to the room. Fang Yi was getting ready to sleep. Suddenly, his cell phone rang. It's a text message. The person who sent him text messages was still the same unknown number from during the day. Brother Fang Yi, come on tomorrow. Fang Yi was slightly startled when he saw the text message. Then he immediately called back. He wanted to see who this person was. The number you dialed is temporarily unavailable. Obviously, the other party has set up to reject calls. Fang Yi frowned and then sent back a message. Who are you? The message showed that the other party had read it. But the other party did not reply. Fang Yi waited for a while and simply ignored it. No matter who the other party was. Since he did not answer the phone or reply to the message, Fang Yi treated it as spam. Then, Fang Yi washed up and lay on the bed playing with his mobile phone. He opened the short video app and found that there were many videos of today's game on the app. Fang Yi even saw the game of his own game. That was Hedong in the finals of the Academy of Art. He used one move every second to destroy the opponent and get the pentakill. This video currently has hundreds of millions of views and more than 1 million likes. There are hundreds of thousands of comments. This kid is so fierce that he can instantly kill anyone when he sees him, including 5 kills. The garbage Martial Saint Academy, when did it ever have such a talent? It seems that Wusheng Academy is going to make a comeback this year. The stupid Martial Saint Academy caused me to lose 5,000 yuan, and I lost all my salary this month. Ha ha ha. I bet 500 on Wusheng Academy to win, and I lost 5-1, making a net profit of 2,000. Seeing these comments, Fang Yi suddenly remembered that in the first round of betting, he also bet on Wusheng Academy, not much. Only 200,000. According to the odds, 1 million should be received by now. It's not that Fang Yi is timid and doesn't dare to go all in. The main reason was that he was afraid that the website was irregular and would hack his money. Fang Yi immediately logged into the betting website, and sure enough, he saw that there were more than 900,000 tens of thousands of withdrawals in the account. Without saying anything, he chose to withdraw cash. Not only did this website not hack his money, it was also very efficient. Half an hour later, Feng Yi received a text message from the bank, notifying him that more than 900,000 yuan had been credited to his personal account. Including the previous money, Feng Yi's money on hand is almost 2 million less. Just a simple bet has nearly doubled my net worth. It is no exaggeration to say that I became rich overnight. Gambling is indeed easy to get addicted to. Feng Yi sighed and then put down his phone. What he is pursuing now is strength. Just enough money. Any more is just a number. Therefore, Feng Yi will not be addicted to gambling. The next day, 9 in the morning, the second knockout round begins. Please take the stage to draw lots to decide your opponent, captains of participating teams. In the venue, the host announced loudly. Suicho followed the captains to the stage and lined up to draw his opponent. After a while, the results of the draw came out. Tuan Moon University vs Kailan College. Hongguang College vs Jinzhou University. Blue Wing College vs Kyongsung University. Martial God Academy vs Martial Saint Academy. See the results of the draw. Many viewers were in an uproar and talked a lot. Blue Wing College actually met Capital University in the second round. What bad luck. Yes, the freshmen of Blue Wing Academy are very good this year. They were expected to make it into the top 10, but they didn't expect that they would face Kyongsung University in the second round. Is Jingcheng University so powerful? Nonsense. Jingcheng University is almost as famous as Martial God College. They are both among the best schools in the country, but they are not as high profile as Martial God College. Speaking of Martial Arts Academy, his opponent seems to be the Martial Arts Academy with 5 kills. Ha ha ha, this is going to be a tragedy for Wusheng Academy. I guess their school leaders' hearts dropped when they saw the lottery results, right? Not necessarily. I heard that this year's freshmen at Martial Arts Academy lost 2 generals in the Forbidden Area number 3, and their strength is not as good as in previous years. No matter how many generals are lost, Wusheng College is still the number 1 prestigious school in the country, with a profound foundation that cannot be compared to Wusheng College. Haha, I really like to see it. The kid who got 5 kills in the last round was too arrogant. This time, let Wusheng Academy teach him how to behave. I didn't expect that Martial Saint Academy's luck would be so bad. It's such a pity that it can't compete with Blue Wing Academy. The game is about to begin, watch the game. Countless spectators were talking about it. After seeing the results of the lottery, the teachers and leaders of Wusheng Academy all turned pale and their hearts felt cold. Why are you so unlucky? Winning the Martial Arts Academy in the second round. The dean's face was ugly. Hearing the dean's words, the other teachers also looked sad and regretful. This year we finally produced 2 good seeds, and there was hope of reaching the top 10. Unexpectedly. Well, Suicho, this kid has too many hands, right? Teacher Zhang, don't say this nonsense. If it reaches the children's ears, won't it force them to leave? Although I have great confidence in our students, our opponent is Wusheng Academy. I'm afraid we can only stop in the second round. It's such a pity to have such an opportunity this year. Hearing the various pessimistic words coming from his ears, Yantai frowned tightly with an ugly face. He subconsciously looked towards the auditorium of Wusheng Academy and happened to see Wong Leang. Wong Leang at this time is looking at Yantai provocatively with a proud look. There is a sneer of a winner on his face. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.